listen, I'm partial to the content. You know, a lot of content was partial to the content. And, you know, and then some people said, I don't like all the profanity. And I would just respond with, get off. Like, get off. That's such an okay. Well, it's like, listen, Blurp. Listen. Listen.
Stop it. Hey, what's up? I forgot to put the chat in. Let me put the chat in. Stop it, Mal. Stop with the bleeping. I can't take the constant, unending bleeping. It's driving me crazy.
Listen,
Okay, I've slowed PayPal Mal down to 1.5 times speed so that we can finish at least a portion of the final video labeled the most controversial trans woman on YouTube. This was the video we were reacting to last night when I started to feel a little sick, so I went offline and went to bed. But I did sleep the whole time. Like, I slept that entire time until this morning when we got up to get ready for school and everything, and then I took another nap. So I'm actually feeling way better. I don't think I'll get sick. I don't think I'll be sick today. Hey Hamlet, hey Gamer, hey Hope, hey Spackle, good to see ya. Kathy, hey. Let me go ahead and jump in the stream room. I know Navy's been busy at work, but you never know when the day he'll want to jump in with me again, so I want to get in there in case he comes in. And let's see here. All right. Now, here's the other thing. We have Molly doing a 12-minute PSA, public service announcement, from a couple days ago, and this is the last time that we see Molly for a good little bit, for a good little minute. Oh, wrong button. It's the last time we see Molly for a good little minute here. So, where's Molly? What is she doing? Is she doing that phase of laying low because of where she goes to lay low when things hit the fan in such a bad way? What about Betty? Now, Betty's been busy. Betty needs that cash, right? And she doesn't want to take the time. She doesn't want to take any time off. She's been attacking Ashley Banfield. Not really anything to commentate on that much. That's why I haven't brought her up live yet. Probably going to take a listen to something she said today, later on. And is Magistrate Judge Megan Marshall over her head on the Brian Koberger trial? You know, that is such a great question, or a great point for you to be making, Betty. That is such, I'm so glad, Betty, that it's because you know everything about the law and all of this, that you keep an eye on these judges and these popos and these other people out there. I am so glad that you keep an eye on all of them, so that we know when they're acting up. We know when they're doing something that they're not supposed to do. Oh wait, hold on. Every time you've ever looked at a popo, every time you've ever looked at anyone, you're never right. You're always wrong, and it's just a bunch of clickbait that ends up just being you complaining about your haters. Is that going to happen again? I don't know. I don't even know if we'll care enough to click it. Though there are a few clips, a few things from the clip channels that I think we need to see. But if I don't finish this stupid garbage I've been working on, all I need to do is see if I need any clips from this area. And then I can skip through this. And yes, I know a lot of you wanted me to slow Mal down to, you didn't want Mal on 2 times speed because Mal talks in such a cracked out way that you were basically listening to Alvin and the Chipmunks arguing with Alvin and the Chipmunks. It was like, what? I used a different thumbnail so that I wouldn't get demonetized, and I'm demonetized. Now, my video from yesterday was immediately monetized after I filed the report, so I'll just file it. We'll get monetized really fast, I guess. YouTube's got to work on this, man. YouTube is so broken. Let's get going.
Listen, it's either that or I'm gonna call you something. So, you know, just God. LV says, what a stage mom. You're just a regular Jean-Benet Ramsey. Oh, yes. Whatever happened to Jean Benet? Here, you can't talk as a mother. Oh, here we go. As a mother, that's the whole
Whatever happened to Jean Benet, huh? You know what happened?
holy grail of true crime children. The Jean Benet is the holy grail of true crime children. You can't talk about Jean Benet. You can't.
No, you can talk about whoever you want, crazy. It's just if you're gonna sit and disrespect people and you're going to lie or anything, we're gonna laugh at you. We're gonna call you out.
Make jokes about Jean. Miss Williams, whereas I.
Actually, I'm not the kind of person who really gets too cares too much about jokes. It really just depends on the context of the joke. There's only a few jokes I'll even complain about.
Mr. Williams, or let me correct myself, Mr. William, you, sir, cannot talk about the holy grail of true crime children, Jean Benet Ramsey.
I don't know. I'm starting to regret this 1.5 times decision I made. I'm starting to regret it.
She's akin to Jesus on our cross. Blip off. Holy blip off.
How would John Benet be akin to Jesus and what?
My God, people.
These aren't jokes. You're not making jokes. Jokes are things you think of that you say because they're funny, they're ironic, they make a point. You're not doing jokes. You're just saying random, disgusting stuff and then giggling. Fake giggling.
That's what it would be like. Not for nothing, right? Then runner up to that would be our summer people. Oh God, holy blip. Oh Jesus, the goodness. You can't make it up. Okay, people, listen. I would like to remind everyone that I'm working today. I know here at the Comedy Hour, people forget. But I had about 70.
So now you're gonna call this the Comedy Hour, huh? Okay.
$5 with the cash apps come in last night.
No, it's okay, R-Top. We got the yellow sign. So I'm having basically to reshare on the community tab and stuff. I don't know why YouTube's so finicky lately. Either way, guys, make sure you hit the like button on your way in if you don't mind. If you don't like me, make sure you downvote me on the way in. If I could, I would turn on my like-dislike ratio. I would. I'll show it to you sometime.
Thank you so much for the after hours cash apps. I might have had a Venmo come in. Sometimes I get the two confused. I just say cash apps when they come in. These are people who watch the stream after the fact, after the live stream. So thank you.
Man, Mal, you making all that money, aren't you? Making all that money.
I don't want to say that because I'm going to mess up a name and then I'm going to get somebody wrong. Listen, thank you very much. So, let me do my little commercial. If anybody here wants to put a little color on the board throughout the chat, I really appreciate it. That's what the super chats are for. The super chats are going to go right into...
Okay, let me listen to this because, again, Mal was e-begging like crazy during, around, and after the entire St. Jude issue. And I'm convinced Mal listened to criticism. I'm not saying mine specifically. It's possible. But there have been a lot of people out there that have broken down the e-begging, and Mal at some point started, when complaining about the criticizers constantly, went from rampant e-begging in the way she shared her links and asked for money to basically sharing it and saying, if you want to support my show, like every other YouTuber on the planet does who isn't e-begging. So I do think she possibly heard criticism and said to herself, it'd be a lot easier if I didn't e-beg and I just share my link.
To my March paycheck. I'm always working for my next month's paycheck in my super chats. And then...
Busted biscuits? I like that. Busted biscuits.
You got my Venmo and my Cash App. That's what I call Insta-Cash. I'm going to have access to those funds immediately.
Yeah, she really is an e-beggar. I've seen some clips, y'all. And when I was talking to Nick, Boston Nick from Queen Bee's panel, he came on the show with me in Navy. He was telling us some stuff, and we learned some things on Queen Bee's panel. We got caught up on it.
This is what I do for work. This is how I make my living. This is also how I do my YouTube travels.
You do not work. I'm sorry. I like to be nice to people. I try to be nice to people that do YouTube because I do YouTube, and I consider once you start to produce content for people, I consider that work. But that's when someone is actually sitting down and preparing live streams, editing videos, and uploading and going live and doing things that have a point to it, that have a purpose to it, making points. They don't just go and they don't just sit down all willy-nilly in front of a camera and go live for an hour and then call that work, or go walk around St. Jude's and call that work, or whatever you may be saying you do. So no, you're not working. You're just a cringe lord. Though you look at a YouTuber out there that does write, you know, the scripts, and they put out their videos, you have to be able to say they're working. Live streamers who prep a daily show. I'll give you an example. The Steel Toed Morning Show. That podcast, every bit of it's prepared and it's set up and it's done professionally. So that's someone working, Mal, not you flopping in a chair and then running your mouth, you know, triggered.
As some of you now realize, I am one of the ones who get out from behind my computer and I actually travel anywhere in the country.
See, Mal, this isn't going to work. This is not going to work anymore. Where this worked for you and Betty and Molly for a good while, now that people have come in and learned what you've actually been doing when you go to these places, it's not going to work. You know, you aren't doing any work at all. You're not doing anything positive for any community or providing any type of content. You're just screaming at the top of your lungs or acting a fool somewhere and then saying, I'm one of these YouTubers that actually do that. You aren't doing anything. The only reason that you even can travel like you can is because you're not attached to raising a family at home or being a part of one. Not even if you're raising the family, but if you are part of a family, if you had things you had to do, if you had obligations, if you weren't so irresponsible in the way you live and act, then you would be home more. So you want to say that a YouTuber that does their show from home isn't as good as a YouTuber who goes somewhere and does something. Well, how do you figure out whether they are or not? What do those people do? What is the difference in what they do? You're not better than any of the YouTubers on the platform. You're not better than any YouTuber that sits at home. You are very much worse. You're just LARPing. You're faking.
Wherever I may feel like I need to go, and I might bring awareness to certain cases or certain situations.
You're not bringing any awareness. You're not bringing any awareness. You participate in the doxing and the lying and the drama and the attacks with Molly and all of them. You go around and lie for them, try to hide things for them, and you are part of their group. You're part of Heels on the Ground. So no, you're not going to fool us into thinking that just because you want to pretend you're doing something that we should call it your work.
I mean, who knows, just for fun, I might just take you on a travel destination and show you someplace that, just someplace exciting or new.
I can literally, if I want to show people what it looks like somewhere, there are so many videos documenting everywhere, and they are so much better than anything y'all do. The quality is better, the production is better, the editing is better, the scripting is better, the places are better, and they're not just this disrespectful garbage that is just thrown and smacked. Oh, hey, look, there's somewhere right here. Let me walk over there and cause a big scene so that, you know, I can show them the place. Yeah.
You just never know where I'm going to pop up. And you never know. Now you never know what can happen. Anything can happen when I go live on location. Gee, thank you so much. Bloop off money. That's what we'll call it. Bloop off money to all you haters out there of controversy. So there's that. Thank you for putting a little bit of color on the board. It really does help the chat.
Haters of controversy. Again, there was no controversy. You were just being a criminal and trying to get out of it in front of everyone. Well, how is that controversy? Controversy is a topic that people are heated in and people discussing it, bringing to light. Like if I went out and sat down and had a desk like Mark Dice or Steven Crowder do, and I say, change my mind on this topic, or I go up and ask somebody, what do you feel about this topic, right? And they say something just insanely crazy to me. That could be something that there's a content in them going and doing something in that way. They will, if they record all day and they don't get anything good, they don't post it.
It helps keep me going. Without the funds, it's rather difficult to travel because let's face it, travel is not cheap. Hotels are not cheap.
So hold on. now I do have to criticize you a little bit. So what you're saying is you can't do your show. You can't put your show on if they don't give you a lot of money. Oh, I get it. So now you are e-begging. You said I'm going to share my link so you can support my show. Okay, fine. You're not e-begging. Great job. I even gave you credit yesterday for a little part here where you shared your link. But when you say that you can't do your job because of it, shit. When you say that you can't do your job, let me take this real fast. Oh, sorry guys. That was a doctor calling me, so I had to take it real fast.
Well, I mean, there's some rat bag hotels out there, but I don't have any interest in, unless I'm going to do a whole series on staying at rat bag hotels, that could be its own.
Like I always say, if I stream during the evening, I don't have to be distracted. But if I stream during the day, there's a chance I will, so.
Thing. That could truly be its own thing. But, right now, I'm not doing a series.
And you know what? If I am going to play PayPal Mal sitting here, running her e-beg game, I'm going to sit here and share my link so that hopefully you guys, one of you may choose to support my show through the links I'm about to drop. If you want to, make sure you like and subscribe. It's paypal.me/unirock. And if you want to use Cash App, it is money sign UNIRACHEL. And it's right there in the chat. Let me actually copy that so I can share it here in about half an hour. And let me pin that to the top of the screen. Yeah, it's that little time period of YouTube where if you guys support us, it really helps. But of course, it helps our show. It helps us just to keep streaming and keep uploading, and that's all the money goes to. It is not, if all of you decide not to donate for 5 months straight, or not to hit the like button for 5 months straight, or support us in that way, we will still be doing everything we do. Unlike Mal, who is saying that she can't go and do her content without everybody dumping money every time she's live and playing these games, okay? So please understand that. Now, let's get back to it here. Did you look at Kanika Jenkins' case by chance? I have looked at it. I'm not, completely convinced we're going to talk about it soon, but it might come up. And I've looked at a couple other cases too. I've looked at a lot of stuff you guys have been sending in.
So. Hotels, but we'll see. So thank you, people. Thank you. Just wanted to put that out there. Especially 4-star ones. Well, listen, the ones with the higher ratings, they're the ones that's got the higher ratings, and wherever you book your travel, you've got your 2-star ratings, your 3-star ratings.
What in the hell is this? I thought you were doing content. Again, this is why, Mal, you're not doing content. You don't go live with a purpose for something to show people or something to do. I wouldn't even complain if you were reacting to a video live. You also don't upload anything if it isn't you taking a live stream and trying to cut down things you don't want people to see out of it and then reposting it. I just don't understand unless it's part of your grift again, and that's why I'm calling you a grifter directly. It's part of your scam so that you can do what Betty is doing, where Betty goes and calls herself like JLR, a real reporter. They say they are the real media. They have never taken a single course in how to be a reporter. They don't even understand the difference. They are literally just people, criminals, people that have all these massive charges, Betty and JLR, and they go on YouTube and find brain dead people who will support someone who is a constant scammer and watch them go around and harass people. And now luckily there are good people that get fooled into supporting these people, and they end up leaving them and going around and getting a hold of other YouTubers like ourselves and showing us the things that these people have been doing, so that hopefully we get a critical mass of YouTube criticism that happens against all of you tragedy pimps that stops you, that will shine a light on this and maybe get YouTube to do something to all of you out there that do this kind of garbage. But as it sits, you have no content. You're whining and you're playing the Betty game, sitting there telling people it costs me so much money to travel. And then when Betty gets mad at a hotel and decides to throw a fit about it, say the name of it, try to get people to go file reports against it, we end up finding out it is the cheapest hotel in the area. And we thought she was staying in some real nice place because that's what she's always saying, just like you. Now, you probably do stay in nicer hotels, but then again, I don't believe you. If you're not, I will believe you stream in a nice hotel when you actually stream in the nice hotel. If I don't see it, I'm not going to believe you, because I know that the reason that Betty and JLR, you and Molly and others try to get this money in this way is for specific reasons. You guys have things that you need, that you want to spend money on, that's all selfish and it's all, you know, making you feel good and making you look good or something, or creating the image that you want to portray. So I do think it's based on addiction, and I do think it's based on taking advantage of others. Absolutely. In fact, it's provable. There's no argument there.
Ratings or 4-star ratings. And, you know, the better the reviews on a hotel, the more expensive they're going to be.
Okay.
Oh my God, thank you. Here we go. We've got color coming in, people. And of course you want to stay where people are going to give you, give the better reviews. All right. And yes, you're going to pay a little bit more, and in some cases significantly more, for the hotels in the area with the most stars on the review. Okay.
So why are you telling them this? I have to ask myself why you're saying what you're saying, why you're telling them what you're telling them. Is there any coincidence that when you say this, people donate money? I think you've got these people conditioned to give you money when you say these things. I don't even think they watch a lot of you. I think they might come in and out, and some of them might hang a little bit. I don't think they even know the full breadth of what you're doing.
D just gifted 5 house memberships. People, let's give some big cupcakes for D, please. I call them cupcakes, but we know they're pink shits. Okay, thank you, D.
See what I'm saying? Every time there's some nice thing that happens that has to relate to doo-doo, a bum hole. I said this yesterday, and I'm trying to not curse. I'm trying to talk about what House of Williams is talking about without cursing or getting the YouTube algorithm on me. It'll be about a vagine or a peen, or, you know, it's always related to this.
Thank you. You're so generous. Memberships are up. Thank you, my love. Lori,
It's kind of like Molly, but Molly separates her identities. She'll separate the whole sexual side of what she does to her live channel when she's doing these nights, right? House of Williams doesn't. She doesn't separate it.
I love it. Thank you. Just gave $10 toward my March paycheck. Lighting it up in yellow gold, or if I say harvest gold. Thank you. $10 coming in. And then we've got Chili Chick just gave another $5 tip going into my thank you. See, people, it doesn't take a whole lot, but they add up. All of these add up, and they add up rather quickly. So
yeah, so is that why you constantly are talking about how much money it costs for you to travel around? And what did you do? And I thought you went to Tennessee to report. Am I insane? Wasn't she staying in she was staying in Tennessee, And she was supposed to, right here, be reporting on like Tyree Nichols or something, right? And so she said she flew into Tennessee, and that's how she ended up going to St. Jude's. It just happened to be right there, right? Where's the reporting on Tyree Nichols other than this like one stream here, which is not her reporting on Tyree Nichols because I skipped through it. Okay, well, this one right here. So she just went to the crime scene for 23 minutes and that's it. And then, so she goes to the crime scene for 23 minutes, right? And then she goes to St. Jude's. The whole St. Jude's issue is a massive amount more than the Tyree Nichols issue, unless I'm missing something. And I looked this morning. This is before she traveled, correct? Yes, I knew that. Yes. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong one. Yeah, this is before she traveled. Yes. And so she talks about it one time. So take a look at this. And it's just her normal e-begging, sitting there, being nasty, being disrespectful, sexualized stuff stream. Okay. And then, so you got that, which is where, hey, I'm going to go do this now. With damn it. Why won't it show? There we go. So then she takes the flight, right? She takes the flight and it's all just a bunch of garbage. And so then this is all she does. So you know what? We'll go through this really quick. There's really nothing to see here at the Tyree Nichols scene. But that's it. That is it. And then the St. Jude's thing happens. So House of Williams, you're lying. All you did was stand out in an alley, okay, behind a property for 20 minutes and spent money to stay in a hotel for X amount of days and take a flight both ways, according to you. Right? Following me here? So, why are these people paying for you to do that? Why are they paying? What did you do? You faked being a reporter. You LARPed as a reporter. Because once I show people what you said at the scene, you're going to realize it's some of the worst commentary, reporting, discussion, or even content around the Tyree Nichols thing that you're ever going to hear on the platform. There was no preparation. There were no facts. She's not reading off a teleprompter. She doesn't have somebody, holding up a list of an outline of facts. So why is she going there? She's going there to stand in the area. For what? You could just put a green screen behind you for $10 and then have yourself in front of a picture of, you could go to Google Earth and get a picture of the scene. Like I could find out right now where Tyree Nichols' scene happened. Go into Google Earth and go onto the street. I showed you guys this. I'll show it to you again. In fact, let's do it real quick. Let's go to, you know what I want to do? I want to go to St. Jude's. Let's do it because I just want to show you what they could do. Absolutely for free. And then they would actually have time and be able to have notes, do real reporting, actually give you information of some kind. So what you realize is them traveling does nothing but present a way for them to milk their audience. That's all it does. And to guilt their audience into giving lots of money all the time. Let's go to Memphis. Let's just actually go St. Jude's, Memphis. See if I can get this moving. Here we go. St. Jude's, Memphis. I'll go ahead and go full screen here. Okay, here, let's do it real fast. I want to show you. This is really, really good. All right, so let's turn that off, turn that on. Okay, so we're at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. Okay, so look. Now, actually, I want to be able to see my chat here, so let me do that. Huh? Okay. Pick. They probably already got kicked then. Somebody probably already took care of it and it's just not updating. Yeah, I don't see them at all. Yeah, I can't even see them. So they must not be there. Okay. Now, where are we here? Okay, got my chat up. Let me get a little music in the background because... So, if she really wanted to go... let's say that instead of lying and trying to sneak into the facility, of course, let's say the Tyree Nichols, like if you guys tell me the street address of the Tyree Nichols scene, because it is public. In fact, I'll look at it. I'll have Rachel do it. Hey, can you do that for me real quick? Find me the Tyree Nichols. I'll do it real fast. We'll go there too. So I'll show you what they could do, and then they would actually be able to do, oh, I don't know, content. Okay. So here is the hospital that PayPal Mal here, as our friends have called her, went into. So let's see if we can get the actual... Okay, this is the center. Right here. Trying to get a feel for what I think happened here with Mal. Hey, new sub. I know the whole backstory of Memphis. Awesome, Magnolia. Glad to have you. And thank you. Very kind. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. So what you can do... Now, this is only... There are a couple different Google Earth programs. I use Google Earth Professional Edition to be able to grab footage for my YouTube videos if I want to show certain things that certain buildings and stuff of public places. But I'm going to use Google Earth web browser version to show you that you don't even have to have an advanced training or an advanced knowledge of programs that I have to be able to do this. You could do it right now. Any of the tragedy pimps could. And I think this will help us, you know, since this is all about St. Jude's, I want to take a look at what happened now. So what you can do, if you want to do a tour of St. Jude's, I'm going to give you a tour of St. Jude's. And I'm going to actually do what Mallory didn't do for you, or couldn't, or wouldn't do for you. And I'm going to do it from my computer without you guys having to send me thousands of dollars for me to jump on a flight and do all this garbage. I'm also going to show you the crime scene of Tyree Nichols. So let me take my sweater off and we'll do this. So first things first, all I got to do is make sure I'm going into the right building, and let's just go right here to the entranceway and we'll drop in. So, as you see, in certain parts of the building, they are allowed to take images of certain areas and then put them into Google Earth or into other Google archives. So that's near the entrance. It was obviously showcasing for people that might want to see some of the construction they were doing. So let's find a different little spot here. Now I'm going to blow your mind because I'm actually going to take a walk around it in a minute. We are going to take a walk around St. Jude's in just a second. So here's right outside the building. Shows you this nice little beautiful walkway, or this little beautiful spot where you can go and just catch a breath of fresh air, right? Let's see if we can go into the other parts here. Yeah, right here. Can I just double click it, or probably gotta... No, I can't. Hold up. Actually, let me just drop the little guy on it. It'll work. So again, you get a feel for the different parts of the building here just by clicking in and taking a look. And a lot of this was obviously during construction. So let's go ahead and walk around St. Jude's really fast. I'd love to see where these gates are. Maybe the complex is a little bigger than I'm thinking it is. Or I wonder what if these other buildings are related. I'm sure they could be. So let's go ahead and just go right here, and we'll just walk, or we'll just go walk straight around the building, and then we'll go back to listening to old PayPal Mal here. Well, real quick, hold on. Let me do this. Start right here. So as you see here, the entire this must be the parking garage. So I'm wondering, oh, look at the gates. This definitely looks like the gates that Mallory. Yeah, look at this. Here's a gate. And it's very similar to the gate that Mallory was standing at. Like, I'm even wondering if this is the gate they took her to beside the parking garage, but it might not have been. Now, what you can do is you can just kind of drive whichever way you want up the street. Like, let's go this way. Now here, I don't know if we can turn here because it goes on to the property. So, oh, here's one of the front gates. Let's take a quick look at it. This is the gate in the picture. Stop. Check with guard before proceeding. This is the picture from the NewsTubers Live. This is the NewsTubers Live picture. The fence is exactly the same, yes. This is it. So let's see if we can get a better look at some of this area and some of these signs. Can't really read this one. Still definitely says check with guard before proceeding. And if we look here, you know, how did Mal get through? Mal wants to act like it was just open willy-nilly. I don't believe her. I think she would have filmed it. And then you've got even more signs, even more warnings, even more procedure, right? So if we keep going, we might be able to find another entrance, but we may not. So it might take a second, but we'll see what we can do here. Here we go. St. Jude freely shares the discoveries that it makes. Join us in our life-saving mission. I mean, why didn't Mal, if she wanted to really show her audience any of this, why didn't she do both? Right? Why didn't she do both? St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So here's one of the buildings. Right? Why didn't she just do this too? Like after she gets turned away, she could have just did this and showed her audience. Because if she does that, she's really not. I will in a minute. Give me I've got a Discord minimized, but I'll look as soon as I pull it up, Artop. So it looks like it's not going to allow us to go much further here. So let's pop out. So this is where we were. And we just drove up this street, right? This is the St. Jude's building we saw. Now, if we look at what they allow us to see, it'll make a square right around St. Jude's, because this is like the St. Jude's property. It even cuts you off. You can't view right here in Google Earth. You see how it's cut off the highway? And that highway is viewing into the St. Jude's property, and it doesn't let you go here. It'll let you see things once it's blocked by this building, and it'll let you see things over here. But you see what I'm saying? So let's start right here and just go around it really fast. We'll just see what it looks like. What can we see? Let's go ahead and travel up this road. Pedestrians, non-motorized traffic, motor-driven cycles prohibited. So only cars are allowed next to St. Jude's is what it's saying. And as you see, you get kind of a feel of this parking garage. And let's see if we can see where these other gates are, because I think that was the gate Mal went into. I think this is Mal said, what stops people from just walking on the property? That, Mal. That fence. That fence even stops you from jumping over it, Mal. Okay? That fence is designed to stop you from even being able to go over it. You aren't going to accidentally enter this facility. Here we go right here. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Main like, you know, facility building. Other research. This is the research wing. Danny Thomas Research Center. I have already, in literal moments, given you a better tour of St. Jude's than Mal did, than Molly's done, than any of them have done. Because they didn't want to give you that. This is a way that you can tell whether they are telling the truth or not. Not just what they did that day. Did they do other things? What other things did they do to give you a tour? Did they find a video that they could have played on their channel and reacted to that would have actually given them a tour? There are tours of St. Jude videos on YouTube. Why did Mal have to physically go there again? Because she didn't have anything to do with the Tyree Nichols trip she took. She had nothing to do. She went and spent 20 minutes standing by a property telling everybody it was the scene. Didn't really say or do anything at all. And so it was a giant waste of all of her subscribers' money. And she doesn't want her subscribers to be distracted by the fact that it's a waste of their money. The people that fund Mal are wasting their money by funding Mal. The people that are sending her to these locations, just like Betty, just like Molly, just like JLR, just like any of the tragedy pimps, are wasting their money. Again, they could have done lots of work and lots of streaming with the goal of educating you on St. Jude's, and then included the trip as part of it. And then I wouldn't be able to make this criticism. But then again, we know they're lying to all of you. We know that they're doing it to create controversy and to exploit these kids. Now, let's keep going. Because Mal said anyone can just willy-nilly walk onto this property. Another bold-faced, complete pathological lie. Every person in this facility is tracked by security. They all know. They've even contacted Google Earth and taken measures to only show you parts of the building that they want to show you. Because look, is this how Mal got in? Look, if you look, the only thing stopping Mal from going around this is a couple cones. And this is why I think the police were asking her so many questions. I think that Mal went and pulled up when I think Mal drove around this building. This is what I think. I'm going to tell you what I think. Oh yeah, they're absolutely allergic to real work. After looking at this whole thing myself, after looking at the whole grounds, after looking at other videos of the grounds, I've come to the conclusion that Mal drove around St. Jude's. And it might be one of the main reasons that she rented a car there. But I do think she's doing a lot of other things in these towns that she's going to. But I think she cased out St. Jude's until she found a shift change or a time when she could walk through. Or maybe waited until they were distracted. No guard at the guard shack. So that she could just go right in. And then went in and parked. That's what I think Mal did. Personally. Oh, Hippie says, or she didn't drive. Well, they brought her car from what we know. And she drove away from it at the end. She waited for an unmanned gate opportunity, says. That's what I believe. That's my theory right now. And unlike Mal, I'm going to give it more and more time. And I'm going to study things a little more before I make that conclusion. But I think I have a lot of evidence to show that that is exactly what Mal did. Mal did not show up when that gate was unmanned, because I've actually done a little bit of research. And that gate isn't unmanned that often. That gate is not unmanned that often. Either of those gates. Now, if that's true, then she definitely creeped on these kids. But then again, we have to wait and I have to do a lot more work before I'll be able to say that or no. But let's keep traveling. Let's keep moving. Well, we know Mal didn't enter here. But it's another opportunity for Mal to enter. This is an exit. I don't know if it's an exit for ambulances or if it could be an entry for ambulances, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. So let's just be watching the... let's just be keeping our eye on and watching the fence. We want to keep an eye on this fence because Mal said anybody could just walk right onto St. Jude. Why would they put St. Jude in the middle of the city? Anybody could just walk right in. And Mal knew this isn't the case. Mal knew that that was not the case. That is how easy of a liar Mal is. It's also how pathological of a liar Mallory is. Because she will lie about something like this as easy as anyone else will tell a white lie. Here we go, a little more fencing, a little more area. All of these places have sick kids and sick families You know, some of these areas are for sick families to stay. Some of them are for the sick kids. Some of them's for research. Some of them's for actual treatment. As we get up here, I don't know if it's going to let us drive that way, but I'd like to drive that way. Oh, will it let us? It won't let us. It will not let us, so we can go ahead and jump out. But hold on, before we do, I'm going to show you this fence. I'm going to show you this fence. Mal, do you want to actually make a statement to why you lied so much about the St. Jude facility? You want to make a statement? Yeah, she took her car in. Inside, when you go to the parking garages, what they'll do is they'll valet your car into the garage and give you a ticket so that you can quickly go to where you're going and do what you're doing. She drove through one of those gates and went to the garage, in my opinion, to valet. But again, I'm still looking into it, but that's my opinion. So let's go ahead and bounce out for a second and just orient ourselves here to the north. All right. What'd you do to me? What did you do to me, Google Earth? I lost track of where I'm at. St. Jude Guard. Here, let's just do this. Oh, here we go. It popped me over to the right. Yeah, we drove up this road right here. We were driving up this way. And then I believe we jumped down off of this ramp this way. Let's just go down here and take a look. Okay, yeah, here's where we drove around because you can see our fence. Jump right on this little road here. And then you have another gate that meets in the middle. When they're doing construction, they make sure that their fence isn't compromised, Mal. Now, I've given you guys an excellent tour of St. Jude's. I've done it safely. I've done it without messing with the kids and families. I've done it without wasting the time. Are you with me? Are you following me so far? I haven't wasted the time of the authorities that are protecting the kids. I haven't used a bunch of swear words. I haven't treated anyone like literal garbage. I haven't tried to get somebody fired from their career, and I've done a better job. And I didn't have to travel to Memphis. I didn't have to e-beg you a lot of money to go to Memphis. Again, just like Betty and Molly and the rest of the tragedy pimps, just like Dolly Vision, just like JLR. Them getting you to believe that they're going to do something somewhere that they're going is just a lie. I don't know where the address is for Tyree Nichols. I'd have to look for it for a minute. So unless you guys know the address and want to put it in the chat, I don't think I'm going to show you Tyree Nichols right now. I can do it later. Maybe tonight's stream. But let me see if I just type Tyree Nichols. No, it's not going to come up. I looked for the scene in a news release, but it didn't have it listed right away, so that's okay. No, I do think it was a valet ticket, but it was basically what you're saying, a parking garage ticket, right? But the reason it's a valet is because when you get to the specific garage, it's like at hospitals near where we live. You can pull up front right where they park all the cars into this giant area, and you can either go park yourself or you can just pull to the entrance and they'll come and get in your car and drive it there, give you a ticket, and you go into the hospital, and when you come out, they'll bring your car back to you. Okay? So one of the things I want to talk about, and we'll get back into reacting to Mal here, is the level of lying and dishonesty. Not just when it comes to St. Jude, but you got to understand why the lies happen, when you hear these people lie, or you hear them e-beg, or you hear them say something like, I go to the scene, I'm not like these other YouTubers. Okay, well, you're making the point that you're better than these other YouTubers, you deserve more money than them, people should be giving you money. That's why you're saying this. You said it while you were e-begging. You brought up e-begging. You brought up how it costs so much money to go. What do you do? So we'll come back to this and finish it, but let's see what Mal did at the Tyree Nichols crime scene. Okay? A place that she flew to, according to her, got a hotel and a rental car, according to her, and did basically this is all she did. This video is about it. And this is going to be her entire reason for collecting thousands of dollars from people. So what kind of information is she going to give us? It's got to be better than the news, or else she could just play a news report instead of going there. It's got to be better than other YouTubers, because she said that herself. Let's listen. Kathy, that's a good point. She did say she sat in the car charging her phone. So that would mean she didn't valet, right? So I wonder why she was saying she valeted. She lies so much, who knows? You don't have a watch there, Mal. There's no watch. You just did this. There's no watch on your wrist. Oh, I get it.
Welcome.
There's no
Welcome.
one. You're not going to talk until people get there. I thought you were doing a report. Why is your report dependent on the people being there? Why wouldn't you just start your report and then let them come in? I don't understand.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome. Oh.
Remember, people paid the hotel. People paid a rental car. According to her, people paid for a 5-star or a 4-star hotel that had that she sat in the tub in and soaked in the hot tub in, right? Oh no, that's what I think she's doing, Voodoo. I think she's trying to wait for people to come in because it's all about donations. It's not about giving a report about Tyree Nichols.
I'm literally standing underneath a thawing frozen tree in Memphis. It's almost magical. It could almost be deadly as well. So,
yeah, deadly. I'm sure the only hood that you're from is victimhood. So yes, I do believe, as Navy would say, and I do believe that if you got hit with a piece of ice, you would think that you're a victim. Yeah.
Oh, the shirt? Well, you know, we must be included here in Memphis. Well, it's in honor of all the biracial people everywhere to include us, start including us in the conversation so that we don't get lost with our own struggle.
Okay, this is what you're talking about at Tyree Nichols' scene.
Struggles, right?
You're going to talk about how this relates to Tyree Nichols at all? Are you doing this because you're not really sure what to talk about? You could have had everything prepared. That's what any reporter, any person on the scene does.
Hit the like, hit the thumbs up, people. I am here in the neighborhood, in this.
Wow, amazing. You just said, though, you're in the neighborhood. Your title said the scene. Are you at the scene? Are you in the neighborhood? Which is it?
Lovely neighborhood where Tyree was essentially murdered.
So you're in the neighborhood where it happened.
Where he called out those last words he ever spoke, mama, mama, mama. And we're going to get more into that.
You're going to get into that, right? Something's stopping you from getting into it now.
Ooh, it's a little chilly.
Her genealogy came back saying that she's 2% black. So she made that shirt so she can pretend to be a person of color. Doesn't she know that that's not... Isn't there... what's the percentage? I mean, you can look it up. That wouldn't make... That wouldn't qualify you to say that, would it? Because aren't most people 2% all kinds of things? Is what I'm asked. That's what I'm asking. I don't know. I'd have to look. Like, oh, it's very cringe, Heleva. Very much. That's also why she wore the wig with tight curls. Oh, gotcha. That's a wig. I thought, though, that most people, when they take those kind of tests, not only does it show that you are 2%, 3%, 1%, 5%, all kinds of different things. I mean, it can, but it's not even telling you your genes. It's telling you the location. So if they have data, let's say that they have, I looked this up back in 2016 or 17 when 23andMe was a big topic on YouTube when it first happened. And when it was first a big topic. And what we found out is that these DNA companies are basically scams. And what they do is they take migration data where people travel and migrate. Let's say that you show that your DNA comes from a certain part of Europe, but then they have data that says that part of Europe contains 2% of these people and 5% of these people and 80% of these people, right? So because they... unless the technology has changed in the last 5 years, it would, and depending on when she had this test done, it wouldn't even mean what she thinks it means. It just, you have to actually look at each specific test and how that test is done. And you have to basically research where they pull their data from before you can say that that test, because if you just pay $100 for a test, they're not, giving you in this complex breakdown of your DNA. They're taking data of where people lived in certain time periods in history, and they're trying to narrow down what they can tell a person is the likelihood of a percentage of their genealogy. They're not actually measuring all of it because it actually costs money to do all of that. It's not $100 like 23andMe charges to actually be able to do that. You feel me?
It's a little chilly here. Oh.
It's why a lot of people believe that they are okay, if I did what Mal did, I have a higher percentage, and this is not a joke, of Native American in my blood than Mal does. With whatever her she's saying she's 2% African American, whatever her 2% is, I have a higher Native American. I would never tell you that I'm a Native American. Because actually, I think the percentage of Native American in my blood, I don't even want to guess, but I know that it's very significant due to a very strictly kept records of my family going back to when we, came over from Europe to the United States in the very beginning. Like long, long, long ago. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Melody, I think that's what Mal may not be getting is that when you're talking about racism as a form of victimhood, or somebody victimizing you with racism, right? When you're speaking on that, that's what Mal's speaking about. When she brings it up, she's trying to say, I'm being racially profiled, right? Like she did at St. Jude's. She's trying to say, people are being racist against me, like she's done many times in the past. Nobody looks at your DNA test to make a judgment on whether they're going to treat you a certain way or not based on how you look. Like when she was complaining yesterday, I kept saying, you're just a normal person, because she is. She's just a normal person. Like all of this stuff that she thinks makes her so special. In reality, she's just another one of the, millions and millions and millions of people out there that act exactly like she does and does exactly what she does to other people and treats other people just as nasty, right?
Listen, this is a tough one. I have to tell you. This is a tough one. I didn't really want to do this one. This is a hard one for me.
No, you're right, hippie. Yeah, you're right. The only reason I even know that is because one of my either great or no, it's great. See, I'm going to say it wrong, but one of them is a full-blooded Native American. You wouldn't be able to tell by looking at me, but it's true. It was on my grandmother's side.
To do. You know, this is what makes our jobs here difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy doing what we do, coming to these.
It is easy. What are you talking about? It's not easy. My job of YouTube, not the rest of my life or the rest of the stuff I have to go through, my disability, all that stuff. Just what I do on YouTube is 1.6 billion times harder than anything you do. Anything. I get up and I sit down in this chair, or I'm in front of a device putting together content for a normal work day every week, if not double it, okay? And I'm not complaining. I do it because I want to, and I don't sit here and tell you my job's so tough like she does. So I'm already doing anywhere from like 60 to 80 or more hours in what I do. I love it, and I don't think it's super hard. I think it's time consuming. When I edit, I think it's hard. I think it is it's just like I'm sitting down at a job somewhere when I'm editing. It's exactly the same thing. I can't be interrupted. I can't have anybody pulling me away from what I'm doing. I have to set it up ahead of time. I got to make sure everything's ready for me to sit down for 6, 8, 12 hours, whatever it is, right? And that's why you notice lately I haven't been editing as much. I have been editing, but not as much. When I break down editing into a more chill thing, it doesn't produce videos like it would if I did set out, 10 hours and get it done and have 2 videos as a result, or 1, whatever. Now, Mallory, on the other hand, I said all of that for a reason, Mal. What did you actually do at all for your job or your work that makes it so hard? You stayed in a hotel and barely streamed at all. You did not prep for those streams at all whatsoever. We're going to find out if you prepped for this one by watching it. You did not prep for your streams at all, right? You did not set anything up in advance. You didn't study anything. You didn't storyboard. You didn't pull notes. You didn't edit. You didn't clip. You didn't clip screenshots and make all the different graphics you have to have, or you didn't pull video clips. You did nothing. You sit down. When you're ready to go live, you spend more time getting dressed for it than you do prepping the stream. That is a fact. Then when you're in the hotel, I just looked at the amount of content that you produced on location, on the scene. Oh my God, Cherie, thank you. Thank you. Woo, woo, woo. Wee wow. Now, you got to be careful because House of Williams is going to hire Betty to choke me out of jealousy. I was just trying to work a Betty choke joke in. I was just trying to work that in, but thank you, Cherie. I really appreciate you. Also, I'm going to throw my PayPal and my Cash App in the live chat. If any of you want to support us that way, you're more than welcome to. It's completely optional. I was waiting to see who got him. So we got JJ, we got Mama. It looks like we've got Bitter Pill, and we've got... That's all I've seen so far. Make sure you guys have gifted memberships turned on. Okay, you might have to click either where the gifted membership shows up. You might have to click it there. Or you might have to click at the bottom of the chat, the little money sign at the bottom of the chats, and go to memberships in order to turn on gifted memberships so that you can get them, okay? Who else we got here? Bitter Pill. We got some gifts, though. Thank you, Cherie. Thank you. So back to what I was saying, though. You have not done any hard work at all, Mal. This is basically the result of you spending your subscribers or your viewers' money on a 4-star hotel for multiple days and from what you've said, a plane ticket to and from and a rental car. This stream is what you went there for. So let's see how all of this work that you're talking about went in. Let's see, what did you do? What is there? Because work has a result. And because you're saying that every bit of what you do for work must be funded by these people or you can't do it, and this is why they must send you lots of money, you must understand that those people have to be able to see the result of your work. So we should see the result of your work. Let's see if we see it.
These scenes, we probably make it look easier than it is. It's not easy. It's very emotional.
Bullshit. Someone who can go into a children's hospital and try to get somebody fired, and somebody who can go into an Ashley furniture store while they get to sit on their ass and get tips and donos, and they go in and take working people and get them fired from their job? No. I don't think you have emotions. I don't think you care about shit.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you. I had to kind of get myself together for this one.
This is called her working the audience. She's trying to work the audience for donos and tips right here.
It's palpable. The energy.
She called Tyree Tyre of his dark complexion. You've got to be joking, Magnolia. You've got to be joking.
Energy here is palpable. Hello.
I don't even think you know what that word means. PayPal Mal here. You're getting just a couple points on the lol-mometer just because of how cringy you've been so far.
Oh, hello, everyone. Oh. It's a lovely neighborhood. I see a lot of people still coming by.
Okay, so let's see this like on the ground. Thousands of dollars worth reporting, Mal. Let's see it. Let's see the result of all this insane work you do.
Since I've been here, people are still coming by. His mom's home, and
because I think your grift, has been busted. I think Betty's grift, I think the entire heels on the ground grift has been busted. I think that's why there's so many people out there that want to watch the YouTubers, all of the YouTubers that are out there, from the clip channels to the commentary channels, that are sitting here breaking down and proving how you all are grifting, you're not working. And they want to watch it, be a part of it, and they want to change this. And they want to do that because I think the jig is up. I think a lot of people have realized that you guys ripped them off. Even the people that funded your trips are ripped off.
We're going to go down by the memorial. I'm going to play.
Because in order for you not to have ripped these people off, you've got to have work done at these locations. Now, you also claim to be getting justice, bringing attention. I mean, many claims about what you do for these cases. None of that happened. So all we have left, look, I get it. If you attempt to go do some work and that work doesn't end up producing a big result, I'm not going to take away all the work you did just because maybe you didn't get a lot of views. I can still look at the work you did, the product of your work, and I can say, okay, definitely there was a reason they traveled there. They did this, they did that, right? But you said that you went to St. Jude's because it was there. Bullshit. You went to St. Jude's because you didn't have anything to do with this case. It wasn't a case that you could exploit money out of. You did the St. Jude's because this case didn't afford you an opportunity to have a St. Jude's moment around this case.
Play some things here in a little bit. We're going to go. You know, I've been covering this case, as you all know, so I thought...
You have not been covering this case. I looked. This is not true. Someone who actually looks at the case and puts out content about it would be covering the case. Why are you keeping all of your coverage secret? Why does Betty keep all of her work and coverage secret? It can't make you money if you keep a secret. You have to put out the result of your work to be able to monetize it. You are factually lying if you don't put out a product. This is it. This is all you've done.
I thought it would only be right that I make the pilgrimage all the way from Florida to Memphis, Tennessee, to this very unassuming neighborhood that I stand in today.
Why? For what? What did you do? Where's the work? Where's the product of your work? We should be. You can go see the product of my work right now on UNIRACHEL 2 and on rockAlot. You can watch me do shows that have been put together to show you what's going on here on rockAlot, and you can go watch me clip down those streams and take the data from those streams and put them into commentary videos for people that can't sit through a stream and watch it. You can see all of this and check on what I do and see if you do decide to tip me that what did my tip actually do? Like, what is he doing with it? This is what I'm doing. I can't do that for you, Mal, because all I can find is this stream. And the money that went into this stream is thousands and thousands of dollars of hotels, flights, cars, and wasted time.
And pay respects to Tyree and his family.
I will, Kelly. I'm going to find that clip of her disrespecting Tyree. Yeah. I want to do a supercut of all the disrespect these people give anybody.
And to the community, for that matter.
And I'm going to keep reminding people as they come in. So if you've already seen me share my links, just ignore it. But my links are in the chat. If you do want to support us, it just goes to us doing this content. That's all it does. Unlike them, who she just said she can't travel and she can't go to these places, which is the purpose of what she does, if you don't fund her. Untrue here. You don't have to donate to me. I'm still going to do everything I do.
The entire community. So, listen, you can tell after spending a little bit of spending the day in this community, you can just tell there's something in the air that has just really ricocheted throughout this entire community.
This is, you have said the same thing for minutes. When are you going to start the coverage and the work? It hasn't started yet.
Right.
It's almost like you're just winging it. No preparation, no work, no notes, no details, no study. You would have live streamed yourself talking to people, going through the community, doing what you did if you actually did it. You would have live streamed it. There's no way in hell you would have lost the opportunity walking all around and talking to all these people like you're claiming you did to get footage of it or stream it. You stream and record inside St. Jude, for God's sake, to be able to upload it and make money off of it. Why would you not stream all of this stuff?
Everybody feels like I think I can speak for a lot of people here, that they feel like they've truly lost one of their own. It's a unique situation.
Nice lie.
Because the neighborhood that I'm looking at, it's not your typical neighborhood.
You've just said that 5-10 times. You're a broken record. Is it not working? Oh yeah, there's barely anybody here. Barely anybody chatting. You barely got any views on this. So was it not working live? Is that what happened?
I drive through it coming in.
Hey Nick, good to see you, buddy.
And when I say let me be clear, not the typical neighborhood that you would think would have such a brutal beating murder.
Magnolia says, was dared by creator to go to rally and say jokes. Oh, Lord.
Of this magnitude, police oriented.
Oh, no. I will, R-Top. I completely forgot. I think she waits to give an impression that she's a reporter, just like she proves she's one. Oh, yeah. Elaborate display to LARP and eBeg. And to think of it, make a good episode of LARP and Order. No, it definitely would. Oh, yeah. I found those old episodes when I was looking in my hard drive last week. So I might upload them somewhere because they're really good. They're still really good.
It really looks like a neighborhood that would be safe to call the police, if you get my drift.
It looks like a neighborhood where it would be safe to call the police. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Like, I think you've spent your whole life sitting on your parents' property. I don't think you've been into into the streets and really gone and done anything. You're sheltered. Because I don't know how you talk like this, but then you try to act like you're so street and you're so in the know and stuff.
And albeit a predominantly African-American neighborhood.
They would pay her hotel, but of course she didn't go, says Magnolia.
It's just not the kind of neighborhood that you would expect any kind of trouble with.
What? Then why did you act like you did at St. Jude's? Hold on. If this neighborhood isn't the type of neighborhood that you would expect trouble in from the police, then definitely the St. Jude research grounds is not the type of area or neighborhood that you would expect trouble from the police, but you did. You're lying. Another just exposing moment. This is very exposing because this is a day before she went to St. Jude's. So you completely flip-flopped your entire opinion on the police, on neighborhoods, on everything when peaceful, chill cops walked up on you when you were trying to trespass and basically break in or without permission enter the St. Jude's Hospital. Now, why would the St. Jude's Hospital be more of a grounds that you would think that the police are going to do something to you than this neighborhood? It makes no sense. If you feel that way here, then you definitely go over to St. Jude's. Then you're not going to think anything's going to happen on St. Jude's. There's actual cameras there.
Like having officers tail you home essentially, and for no legitimate reason that can be documented to this day.
I'm going to have to look at this case. You're going to tell me they didn't swerve, they didn't do anything to have the officer's attention. Now, they could have or they couldn't have. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it.
And then proceed to take turns beating you viciously on the side of the road. Like a
yeah, if that's the case, if that truly happened, which I think it did, right? Then they deserve to go to prison for the rest of their lives, obviously. So I don't think anyone disagrees there. Definitely, those officers deserve to go to prison for the rest of their lives if they did that.
Like an animal until you essentially are rendered unconscious. Wow. I'm assuming that this was probably at one time, possibly still is. It's a deed-restricted community. I can gather that because...
What?
Well, to my left over here, we've got a tennis court. A tennis court sitting right over here in this community.
What does that have to do with anything? Down in Brooklyn, they've got basketball, tennis, they've got everything there. And I don't know what... What?
Got a pool that's currently covered behind me. You can probably see that. That's what that is. That's an in-ground pool.
Okay, so are you saying that they don't have in-ground pools or tennis courts or basketball hoops in neighborhoods that have this kind of stuff happen? Because they do.
Pool that's currently covered for the season. So, you know, that'll give you...
They claimed he was driving recklessly. I'll look into it. I'll definitely... I'll look into the whole thing and see. I'll read some of the reports. I've only read a couple, so I'll have to look, into the findings. I think when I looked at it, it was very initial or something.
An idea of, the kind of amendment.
Unlike Betty, Mal here, and Molly and JLR, I actually give investigators and I give time for stories to have footage and things like that come out, or reports and details emerge before I go in and start, playing those types of games. So.
Amenities this neighborhood has. And when I say it's really just not the kind of neighborhood that you would think is normally typical with these brutal beatings by cops.
You say that you are a reporter, you pay attention to these things, and then things like this come out of your mouth. So if it's a neighborhood that has a pool and a tennis court, there's never been a police beating in neighborhoods like that ever. Ever. No police brutality in those neighborhoods. It's so rare.
Thank you. Thank you, Beach. Listen, everyone, let me just say, I want to put this out there while people are finding us and discovering us. Please.
Who found you and discovered you? Nobody did.
Share this out. Let people know we're live, first and foremost.
Yeah, because you're mad at the amount of people that are watching. Why do you have more support sitting in your room, lying about St. Jude, attacking a cop, and just doing all the things I've shown you from these last 3 or 4 videos in the last 2 days? Why do you have more donations, more support, more attendance to your stream than you do for this? Your reporting, your content.
Hashtag us out there. Hashtag Tyree Nichols. Hashtag House of Williams. Share us out there. This is definitely a good conversation today.
Yeah, people really want to mix those things together. They want to take grifters and put them next to victims all the time. It's just so respectful and appropriate.
I also want to say thank you so much to everyone who came through after we tallied the numbers yesterday or this morning. My goodness, my supporters came through in such a big way yesterday.
So hold on, you're gonna talk like this. I've never heard a reporter talk like this at the scene of a beating. Ever. You're going to go into how much money you've been being sent? I thought you were trying to hide the fact that you're grifting by doing this. I thought you were trying to respect the victim. Why would you even bring that up?
In just 2 streams, what I had in Dallas and what I had last night, you all completely, all the donors that came through completely reimbursed me in total for my entire stay at this beautiful resort hotel.
Wait. What do you do for a job to pay? Why are you acting like you bought the original tickets and hotel? Why are you acting like you paid for it out of your money and then they reimbursed you? Unless you're working or unless you have money coming in that's not YouTube, which you've said that this is your only job. I've just heard you say this. Then it wasn't your money. This was money that you'd had from people sending it to you right before you paid for that stuff. People sent you money, paid for that stuff, and then you had people send you more money. So you're describing what is double dipping for the cost to do this stuff. And you're acting like somehow it's actually them reimbursing you. What?
4-star resort hotel that I'm staying at. So
why are you staying in a resort hotel? Resort hotel. Why? Why do you need a resort hotel to work to prepare for this? Is that why you didn't get any work done? Well, I already know it is, because I've listened to your other streams where you're talking about how you are in the hot tub and you're like partying or you're doing whatever and you're enjoying yourself so much at these places and yada, yada, yada. So that would explain why you're doing such a horrible job 9 minutes into this, the actual hardcore content that's the result of all the money that they paid for you to come here. It makes sense.
Oh my God. I mean, before the stroke of midnight, I was completely reimbursed for that. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, people, because that cost me, that stay was well over $1,000 for the few nights, just the stay itself, not counting the airfare and, you know, everything else. But just for that stay alone was over $1,000, and you all completely made me whole on that.
Say this again, because I was sharing my link in the chat. Because I have no clue how you make this much money in a day or two. Normal YouTubers, they just get like a couple donos here and there. You're like talking about thousands and thousands of dollars.
Because that cost me, that stay was well over $1,000 for the few nights, just the stay itself, not counting the airfare and...
So hold on, the stay at a resort hotel is $1,000 at least, okay? You chose to do that instead of staying at like a $70 or $80 Holiday Inn or something that would have been nice. You would have had a breakfast, you would have had a bed, you would have had an office, you would have had a room, you would have had a television, you would have had all that, a gym and everything. And instead you decide to spend your money making sure that you are in luxury while you're there. You don't get any work done because you were enjoying those luxuries. And then you just show up and you've talked about how 9 times this neighborhood, this neighborhood, this neighborhood, this neighborhood. And now you're talking about, I made a lot of money. When are we going to get to the result of your work? Where's the reporting? Where is the coverage? Where is you putting your heels on the ground, doing something for this story other than talking about yourself?
You know, everything else. But just
Navy says, I don't get how she has subs. It's because Molly and the bigger people in the heels on the ground team, because House of Williams has gone to Molly and, you know, done whatever Molly's bidding and is indebted to Molly and indebted to Betty and them. Molly takes the subs that she gets from Dre, that she gets from Summer Wells, by lying about those stories, by attacking family members of those stories, and she passes them down. And she filters subs who will send lots of money because they're caught in the LARP of heels on the ground. And when they don't realize they could be funding actual media organizations that do put out content, that do put out reports that cover every murder in the country, regardless of how popular it is or not. They don't just go to the most viral one, stay in a resort hotel, rent a nice car, trespass on a hospital and spend 20 minutes actually talking about what they need to talk about. Out of that 20 minutes, she hadn't even started. Hey, Jen, she hasn't even started. I'm gonna time when she actually starts reporting or giving her report or giving her content, the result of her work. I'm gonna time when she starts and when she stops, because now she only has 12 minutes left. Every bit of money she's talking about being sent she only has 12 minutes left to give these people the result of their money. And she hasn't even started.
Just for that stay alone was over $1,000, and you all completely made me whole on that. So, wow.
Well, very true, hippie. I'm sure that, someone who lives with their family, and by the way, I've always said I don't think that's a bad thing ever if you live with your family. I wish I lived with my family. I'm talking about parents, right? Grandparents. I wish that I could. I wish I would have spent more time living with my grandparents, especially. But I have a family and I need my own space, right? And I'm taking care of my kids and my girl and myself. So anyway, Mal, though, you know how Molly will sit and act like every time she gets mad at somebody, if they're a male, they live in a basement. And if they're a female, there's all these other insults that she has, right? Mal actually lives with her parents and I would assume doesn't even pay rent or pay for any of her. Like, why isn't, it's crazy because why isn't she living on her own? She has a job. She has enough money to spend thousands on hotels and spend thousands on plane tickets, right? You think that she'd have an office? She'd have, her own?
Thank you so much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
There are nice hotels in Memphis that are 100 or 150 and are very nice. Yeah, I mentioned one that was 80 in Memphis. And it could have went up to 100 since I was there. It definitely could have. Because it's been about 8 years, 10 years, something like that. Maybe even more. I'm old. But there are very nice hotels that were 75, 80 bucks in Memphis. And in Louisville, it's even cheaper. And they'll even give you breakfast, and it's very clean, which is what I care about. I care if it's clean. That's what I care about.
Heart. It shows me that you really do want to see me out here on the road more, and you want to see me take you all more places and cover more things.
You're not covering anything, though. Now you're talking about the money still. You guys sending me lots and lots of money and me manipulating, lying, and skeezing to get the money out of your pocket shows me that you want me to do this more often. Could it just be that you e-begged your ass off? Couldn't it be that you guilt-tripped them, e-begged them? Could it be that some of them might be disabled, or some of them might be caught up in what you're doing? Some of them might not be able to really determine the difference in what you're doing. Like, not all, I'm sure, but could it be that some of them work a full-time job, and because they trusted Molly, or they trusted however they found you, that they believe what you're saying and they don't know about the messed up stuff you do? Could that be why when you went into the children's hospital, you lost an enormous amount of support? Right? Because they finally saw the truth right in front of their face and was like, why is she acting like this? I mean, I know she's weird, but this isn't weird behavior. This isn't strange behavior. This isn't whatever you pride yourself, because she does pride herself as being strange and weird. I'm not insulting her. That's her words. She just said it yesterday in her streams. My response was, no, you're very normal. You're a very normal person. You want to act like you're the most special, entitled, ruler of the world, goddess, queen of the entire world. People bow down to you, and you're not. You're a normal person. Stop acting entitled, right?
More stories out there and do some more traveling. Apparently,
you didn't put any stories out yet for the traveling that you're talking about. That you're supposed to be putting the story out, Mal, right now. You haven't even started.
Like me on the scene. So,
No, nobody likes you on the scene. You go through waves of supporters. People come in, they have this thought about what you're doing and what you are. They take your words, the lies you tell about all that work it's why you talk about all the work you do when it's not true, and all the reporting you do when it's not true, and all that. And now you guys might understand why we just sat here for 2-3 days And by the way, I could have got it done in 2 streams, but I got sick a couple times. But now you'll understand in the last few days why we watched Mal sit at home triggered over St. Jude, hearing the way she talked about and lied about everything that happened, so that I could bring you to her work and show you how it's not work, it's not real. What she really does is sit in her home and lie about what she did on location. When she's on location, she's lying about what she's doing on location. And people are being duped into believing they're paying for reporting, they're paying for justice, they're paying for heels on the ground. The heels were in the hotel the whole time. They were only on the ground for 23 minutes and they haven't even started reporting yet.
Thank you. You know, as long as you all are enjoying that and get something out of it, and are willing to support that, I'm willing to do everything that I can to bring that content.
If you start telling the truth, people won't criticize you. If you stop lying and exaggerating and all of that, you can do this. But when you go and start telling people the amount of work you're doing and how much money you need and all this stuff, you need to be honest with them. Because until you do, you're going to be called on it from now on.
To you, okay?
Until this stops or changes.
I mean, that just blew my mind when I...
Just like Molly and Betty and JLR and Dottie and all the tragedy pimps. Just like any tragedy pimps I don't know about. And it ain't just going to be me. So it ain't going to work to play your little game crying about me. It's going to be the entire community. We are going to make sure that all the tragedy pimping that happens until this changes is actually set against the evidence of the tragedy pimping. And it's going to change more and more and more about your grift as time goes on.
I looked at the numbers today. You all are... Thank you. So thank you for the support that comes in. Thank you for any super chats or cash apps. I won't be able to see any cash apps that come in because I'm using the phone that the cash apps register on. You're just going to have to let me know.
Where's your camera? Where's your equipment? Where's your notes? Where's any reporting, any result of work whatsoever? You want me to show you some of mine? Because I can. I can show you folder after folder after folder after folder of video clips, of clipped images, of scripts. I can show you the editing files. I can put them into the video editor and show you all the edits I do. That's the work going into the result that you guys get. You don't have any. Nothing. And I don't sit here and tell you that you need to give me money because I do so much work. I say if you want to support me, do it. If you don't, don't.
In here, if I miss anything, please know that I'll do another stream later today. Everybody...
I didn't see another stream from later today, but we'll look after this.
Get proper shout-outs either here or in the next stream.
Shout-outs? Why are you shouting money out at a place where this happened? All you've talked about is money.
Just bear with me and work with me.
This is so sick. You are sick. I'm starting to think you might actually believe the stuff that comes out of your mouth about what you do.
But, you know, it inspires, when you donate it, you know, it just creates an energy and, you know, everybody just has fun with it, so.
When people give you money due to the lies you tell about what you're doing, it gives an energy and it's positive. So you're on a you're at a positive energy space, and people that are there because they think they're going to get the result of their thousands of dollars in money they've given you give you more money while you're there. That's what they're paying you to go to the scene so that you can give them more money. They're not paying you for a reporting. This is... Oh, will you change my mind, Mal? You can change my mind right now. You've got 13 minutes and 24 seconds to change my mind. Okay? So get to it.
Let's see, we're going to walk down there in a few minutes. And I'm going to show you some of this neighborhood. We're going to do a little community walk. Put a 3 in the side chat if you want to do a little community walk, because, you know, something I think...
Before you do a community walk, are you going to give us your report? Are you going to give us the information? Are you going to give us any of your work?
That the media has really not been able to show us. This is where people like me and what I do, when we come to these scenes, we're able to show you a vantage point that the media just doesn't have time on the editing desk per se, or the
What? No, you don't. I went into Google Earth, every place you guys have been, and have seen 1,000 times more than you showed, because you were all doing either this, e-begging shit, or you were yelling and screaming into a bullhorn. You're lying. I showed more in Google Earth today than you have in every scene you've ever went to, including St. Jude. Because I went to St. Jude.
On the airtime to put out there. So I know many of you probably had no idea that this community had, as you can see, a nice, a very nice tennis court, a really nice tennis court.
So, oh wow, you finally are going to actually show us this vantage point that the media doesn't have time. It's not that the media doesn't have time, Mal. They showed us the actual scene. They showed us actual facts. You're showing us a tennis court that has nothing to do with what happened. Nothing. No matter how much you try and make it have something to do with this, it doesn't.
In a pool house. And, see, these are things you don't know until someone like me comes here. And
yeah, but let's try not to talk about her being transgender and all that too much, because where she brings it up, let's do it. And here's why. It's an actual reason. I don't care what you talk about in my chat. I'm just asking for a favor. Because what she's going to do is she's going to try to take anything anyone says and make it negative. Make it nasty. She's going to make it into an attack. And obviously that's not what you guys are doing, I can tell. Because I know you.
Just starts taking a good look around and seeing, what kind of neighborhood is this? And then you think, this is what, if a person of...
You are now repeating what you said for the first 7 minutes. And if anyone doesn't believe me, just go back and re-click it or rewind this stream. But no, you haven't even started yet.
Color can be murdered by the police in this kind of neighborhood.
So why were you nervous at St. Jude? The police obviously weren't going to do anything to you.
A person of color can be murdered by the police in any neighborhood, and that's scary.
So this is some, if you weren't so sheltered, staying in these luxury hotels when you do decide to leave the house, and you'd actually do some reporting and get educated on what's been going on, it wouldn't have shocked you to say that. It's a horrible reality, but it is a reality.
That's truly scary, right? Because...
Well, and I would go as far as to say anyone can.
Let's be real. So often, we got so used to seeing our brothers and sisters of color, for the most part, being slaughtered in the streets by these vicious police in undesirable parts of the city.
Now I'm going to have to go look at this case again. All right, let's see here. Okay, so this is about white people killing a black guy, says Mal. Let's see.
About the death of Tyree Nichols. It's been nearly a month since Nichols died after being beaten by 5 Memphis police officers during a traffic stop at some new...
Okay, so let's skip ahead and just see. I mean, she could be right. I just want to check. Wait, Mal. Can I zoom in on this, please? Mal. I thought you studied this case.
Cell phone to take.
All of the police officers that did this were not white. Am I reading this wrong, or is she just lying to us? Wait, so Long was fired, and this guy was relieved of duty, so we'll leave these out. There was one white guy that we can tell here. Oh, these people were fired. Oh, these are the ones that were charged with actual murder. These were fired because they didn't probably... Okay, so the ones that actually did it were the 5 in the middle. Mal, what are you talking about? This is why you need to spend less time in a luxury hotel and less time triggered in your room crying about people criticizing you, and actually read about what you're covering and tell the truth about what you're covering, because you just ripped the people off. Because you said this from the scene. You have ripped the people off that paid for you to go to this scene and do any reporting, to do anything real All you've done is spend a large chunk e-begging. And then you talked about how I can't believe that a black person could be beat up in a neighborhood like this because the neighborhood's so nice here and here. That is your stream.
Or undesirable.
She's lying. Yeah, Sparkle, she's lying.
A town, or undesirable zip codes, and undesirable apartment buildings, undesirable convenience stores. You understand. But this is different. This is something that just doesn't quite fit. This doesn't quite fit, people. It's below freezing here in Massachusetts. Well, it's a little cool here.
Cherie says the ones that were fired work for the fire department. Well, yeah, but the ones that were... Oh, so wait, the firemen got fired. The police got charged. Gotcha. So the fire department, obviously, maybe they didn't report something. You know, I'll look into it more, but so they didn't actually... They would have been charged if they would have been in the beating. So the ones that were fired weren't active in the beating, I would assume.
Here too. So, what we're going to...
So she's lying through her teeth. This is so disrespectful to Tyree Nichols. It is disrespectful to the people that paid you to go. And it exposes you as a grifter that went to St. Jude. First off, you went to Tyree Nichols' neighborhood and labeled it going to the scene. This isn't even true. You're not at the scene. You admitted it yourself. You're in the neighborhood where the scene happened. Wicked, thank you. Heavens. Listen, I'm not trying to seem like I'm not thankful. I am so thankful for the gifted subs. So don't take me sharing my PayPal link in the chat as me not being thankful for super chats and gifted subs, because it is immensely supportive and helpful. I'm just sharing the PayPal link so that I can actually get, you know, Red Bulls and stuff for streaming is all. Okay, I need to stop joking around or I'm going to get in trouble.
I'm going to take you off the tripod temporarily, and we're going to take a walk.
You know, the nicotine and the caffeine that I consume, that's where the PayPal comes in.
The community just a little bit, and I'm going to gather some things. I brought some things because I want to contribute to the memorial.
You haven't reported yet. You made some statements that were lies. You put a focus on things that weren't true. And now you're going to start the memorial stuff.
I'd like to do that in honor of all of you from the House of Williams.
In honor. You want to honor yourself. Wow. Did you hear that? Did you hear what Mal just said? This is why e-beggars should be banned from YouTube. You just said you want to go put some things in the memorial because it's going to honor you, House of Williams.
All that good stuff, okay? So...
You just said, all of you, the viewers, the House of Williams, and all that good stuff. And we know when you say all that good stuff in relation to your channel, you're talking about money.
Let's just... I won't be able to see your chats at the moment. I'm not sure. Let's just see how it works. Let me see if I can reverse the camera footage. Oh, okay. How does it work? I don't know how it works. Let's see.
You don't know how your equipment works, but you're a professional working a job.
Okay, is that reversed?
Thank you, Wicked. I'll shout. I was waiting for him to pop up before I shouted it out. Okay. Resting Biatch Face, Bob, Laura, Missouri, and Freedom. Thank you, Wicked, for gifting those memberships. It's so kind of you.
There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so I can see. I can see. You know, listen, I'm just using my phone.
Why are you showing? Did it? You know, for some reason, I feel that if I go and look and see if this happened at the pool or the tennis court, I'm going to find out that it didn't. Maybe it happened at the pool or the tennis court. Cherie, do you know if it happened at the pool or the tennis court?
Phone, so it might not be the smoothest, people, but you know, just take a look around of this community. I'll flip it for you here for the moment. I know a lot of you like the rotated screen, you know. I don't know that I'll carry it like this the whole time because I can't read the chat, but just to give you a little bit of an extra vantage.
Wow, what an excellent vantage point. Oh, I can really tell that that's a good tree vantage point there. It's easy to hold on, let me fix this. Okay, go ahead, Mal.
Vantage point. I mean, it's a really nice place. Okay. Oh, now, See all this? This is still sloshy on the ground. Sloshy and
What does the damn ground have to do with anything?
ice and freezing. And I'm wearing good footgear for it though.
So it's all about you. You, money, money, money. How are you honoring Tyree again?
I'm wearing my, so I thought ahead. I thought ahead. But you know, if you look,
How did you think ahead? Those are the same shoes you've been wearing the whole time. I just remembered. Those are the shoes you put up when you were yelling and screaming about getting criticized. Those are the same shoes you've been wearing nonstop. Do you have another pair to change into?
look around, just look at the, you know, the garages, all the roofs are beautiful roof
Yeah, let's just dox the living shit out of the neighbors. Why not?
lines and pitches.
Since we have nothing else to e-beg on, and we can't talk about the case, we can't be honest about the case, we want to act like that this is an issue of white guys beating up an African-American, but in reality, it was 5 African-American cops beating someone up, and make it all about color and race like Mal did, when in reality, we should be making it about how atrocious it is for anyone to be murdered. We should stop separating people by color. We should stop separating people by our differences. We should respect each other regardless of those differences. We should treat everybody equal. We should stop acting like we have to identify everyone who's different color, a different race than everybody else. And we should start respecting everyone equally, treating everyone the same, treating everybody like people, for God's sakes. But no, let's talk about the garages. Let's talk about the homes.
Just really nice detail in these homes. You know,
Yeah, because I'm sure that had a lot to do with the
nice
case.
cul-de-sacs and half moon, you know, drive areas. And you can almost picture this at Christmas time with all the Christmas lights going, almost a little village effect. And by the way, another thing you might not know, the name of this little community is called Wineberry. Wineberry. How quaint, how quaint. Let's see, Mallory, I give you the utmost respect. Well, like I said, this
I'm sure that person does. I'm sure that person does give you the utmost respect, Mal.
this is so difficult. This is probably...
It's so hard to talk about how much money you've sent me, my shoes, and how I want to honor my YouTube channel by putting something at the memorial. This is so hard. It's so hard to lie about the story.
you know, this is right up there, you know, with... I don't know, it's this just feels so more... You know, I spent some time in Savannah, but, you know, no one was actually murdered in the very spot that I'm about to stand in. That's the thing. And
So why in the Samuel H. fucking stuff, not supposed to curse, were you just filming the tennis court and the pool if you're saying you're about to go to the scene? Is this that on the scene reporting? Has it started now? Is it? Can we start the timer? We can't until you get to where you're reporting and the fruit of your labor here comes. We see it coalesce in front of us. We'll start the timer once you start reporting.
as an intuitive, I tend to see things differently. I can kind of gather pictures, and I see
You are the least intuitive person on the face of the planet. That's just a fact.
details that help paint pictures really quickly for me.
You lie about every factual detail of the case you're covering. How is that intuitive?
It's just hard. It's just really, really hard.
Oh yeah, it's not only hard, but let's dox the hell out of this vehicle. Why not?
And like I said, I was thinking how I could come to Memphis and not come to this location and cover it a different way.
Why are you lying? You've said the whole time that you've been planning on going there straight to it, and you said that you did it to give some thing to your subs.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, this was going to be so difficult for me. And I thought, oh, God, Melly, you're just going to have to push through it. As hard as it's going to be to go over there for that memorial, you're just going to have to push through it. Because...
You said this to yourself, but you've said the opposite every time you were live, every time you talked about going here, and then after you went there. You said the opposite. Where's all the super chats? Where's all your super chats and gifts and stuff? Where are they? Could this be why you went to St. Jude? Could this be why? Because you know that controversy, you're not causing it here. Where's the controversy? See? First responders, Kelly. Ah. The controversy, there is none. And so her subs aren't donoing. They're there for that shot of controversy. They're there so that they can feel like they're part of it. And when she's not delivering trespassing and trying to sneak into St. Jude's, then the money doesn't roll in.
I mean, you're literally standing in someone's death scene and the anguish, the absolute anguish.
Where, right here? How? That's not where it happened.
The last moments of someone's existence here on
Where? Show us where. We don't know where. You haven't told us.
planet Earth. What he had to go through.
You're showing us a vehicle that probably is your vehicle parked here. Are you saying you parked right on the scene?
In these times, right? I just can't even imagine it. I can't imagine it. Let me gather some things here. I only got so many hands. Okay.
How do you know you're even at the right spot?
Only got so many hands.
Wait. Why? Okay, so what you're putting down here, you spent some good money on, right? It's not cheap shit, right? You would not. You would not. And we've been in 1.5 times speed this whole time, guys. You would not have bought some really cheap garbage to put there, would you? You wouldn't have just spent a couple dollars, right? You actually spent some money, right?
Yeah, there's some things here. I only got so many hands.
What are you talking about? There's 1, 2 things in a bag. You could fit all of that in one hand. Now, you can go get these at like a dollar store for a couple dollars. This looks like birthday accessories. Literally.
Okay. Only got so many hands.
I thank you, Seeing Lies. I've got so many, only so many hands, because she's trying to make... Mallory is a disgrace to humanity, says Navy. Navy, where you been, bro? Get in here with me tonight. I know, I've been sick and jumping in and off at weird times. I just hope you can get in here soon. Oh, hell. We have probably $4 worth of party favors bought from a dollar store. And we have her admitting to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars spent for plane tickets and hotel, 4-star luxury hotel, by her words. Now, she said even after she collected the money to buy the hotels and the plane tickets and spent the money that she collected from people, that after that, she went live and complained about how she had to buy that stuff and got it reimbursed. So she got double the amount she needed for the hotel, double the amount she needed for the vehicle, double the amount she needed by her own admission for the plane tickets. And if you don't believe me, you can go back and listen to this whole thing again, because I can't do it, or I'll have to bang my head into my projector. And I don't want to, because I like it. And you could only buy $3 or $4 or $5 worth of birthday party favors to put at the scene. You couldn't find out what Tyree liked to do, like basketball, or what Tyree liked to do, like if he liked to wear certain clothing, or I don't even know, music, right? His favorite artist. And put like something there that represented Tyree. You have to go get party favors for birthday parties at a dollar store. Yes, Ninja. We just played a clip of her saying that she paid for, that she went live and told everybody she was going here and collected the money to go and do all of this. And that she paid a lot of money for all of the things she bought that I named. Then she said, I want to thank all of you. because you guys have reimbursed me for all the money I've spent. So she got double dipped, basically. See, when she spent the money on all of this, she had gotten that money from her audience to book everything and pay for everything. And then once she got there, she did a stream from the hotel and asked for money because she was complaining about spending it and got reimbursed. That's double dipping.
Only so many hands to go around.
Silly Rabbit says, many things that money that's given to the pimps monthly really makes a difference. Anyone that falls to the pimp's pressure to give that they are helping victims need to realize that they are the victims of the pimps. Yes, you're right, Silly Rabbit. I don't think anyone is a bad person because they gave money to them. I think you're a bad person if you have seen the truth, if you've seen, you know, the truth of what they're doing, and you've actually been exposed to the criticism against them, and you've seen the facts of the issue, and you keep supporting like some of the hardcore supporters are. That's the only time I think you're doing something wrong. You're not doing a single thing wrong because Molly or someone shouted out House of Williams, and of course you can't go in and watch all of her videos. You can barely suffer through 4 minutes of one of her videos because she's so boring. She never makes a point. She's not funny and not witty, none of these things. So you end up not watching all of her other content, and then when a big thing happens, you'll click in and say, oh, look, it kind of looks like she's doing something. You know, I'm working and I have a family, so I can't fact check everything, but here's some cash, right? They live off of those people. That's who they live off of. The people that are caught in the beginning. And that's why if you go back at any point in time for anything they're doing, even in the same investigations, you'll notice it's a constant revolving door that is there for them. They don't have a reoccurring audience. You know? And I've confirmed this even is how Molly's internal Patreon works. People will be there for a few months or whatever. They'll be on a channel for a few months and they start to realize like, oh my God, this is what they're doing. Or they see Molly go on a bender in a hotel and act crazy for 3 days and they end up bailing, and then they want to check in on what's going on, and they realize that there have been channels out there warning people about this for a long time. I'm not one of them. I've only been talking about all this stuff for like a few months, and then I was talking about the Letitia fraud raiser for about 6 months. But there are channels like Burnt Toast and many other channels, Heels in the Air and others that have been there for a very long time. And they've been uncovering this and archiving this and proving this. And thank God they have, because now we've got proof going back years, because all of them delete the stuff they do. When they make a lot of issue, they'll delete it. They hide it. They don't want people being able to go in to their channels. Like if you go to Molly's channel, all the Dre stuff is gone. All of it's gone. Now, all the stuff that she did, like when she was siphoning all the money out of the bank accounts and doxing people, had already been deleted that day. Though the long-term stuff she'd left on her channel for Dre, like 3.8 million views worth of stuff, has been deleted off Molly's channel about a couple weeks ago. So they do this systematically. The minute that they are done with a story that they know they lied about, that they've created a fake narrative on, that they stole from people, they ran a fraud raiser on, they lied about a murder scene, they lie about some really extreme story, they go and delete it, hoping that YouTube, when YouTube finally checks their channel, they're thinking that it's going to protect them from YouTube looking at all their old videos. Thankfully, you can't delete a video off YouTube. You cannot. There is a massive amount of evidence that proves this. YouTube keeps every video that you put on your channel. That's why, you know, if you're ever going to get serious about YouTube, you use a new account. Because if you've uploaded some, like, you know, movie or something and put it on private so that only you could watch the movie from your YouTube channel, and they didn't detect it when you did it, and you have your channel gain 100,000 subs, YouTube might detect that private video you deleted a year ago and ban your channel for copyright or something, right?
And of course, I don't want to get run over in traffic. And it's,
Where are you going? You just held your camera in a completely different place telling people that it was the scene. So now where are you going?
have to keep in mind that there's other people that's still coming by, and, you know,
So what you're trying to do is not spend any real time at the actual scene. You're in the neighborhood of the scene. So why were you showing us houses? Why were you showing us a pool and a tennis court?
paying respects to this You know, they're coming and going. You know, as long
I wouldn't either.
as I've been here,
I wouldn't either.
they're
Before I forget, y'all, if anyone wants to caffeinate me, the links are in the chat. I need that caffeine, y'all. Unlike these people, I'm gonna buy caffeine.
they're still coming and going, and you can see
I'm so
them
dumb.
just kind of pausing, and then they'll do a U-turn and go back and take another pause.
Do you see how far away she parked? And how far away she did her initial? Why? What did you do, Mal? What did you do? She's a full 4 blocks away from where she started streaming. What happened? Did the cops stop you? Did the cops tell you you're not allowed to film? Or did they tell you you're not allowed to do it? Did you try to do it somewhere else and it didn't work, or what? What happened? You did not, just by the coincidence, start streaming 4 blocks away. You wanted to be standing right on that scene the whole time. We know. Or are you just scared? Oh, I see. You're scared of the people that keep driving up to pay their respects. You're scared of them calling you out for what you're doing.
This is hard.
Bullshit. If it was hard, you would know the real details about the case. You haven't even started reporting yet. What do you realize? You just spent, and I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna get mad. You just spent $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 of your subs money to literally do the same thing you could have done by calling a flower company. You could have sent the most massive bouquet to be put there in remembrance. $1,000 of flowers of remembrance to be put there. Or you could have sent it to the funeral home. Or you could have sent it to the mother. But you wanted to take that damn money and go on a trip. You wanted to stay in a nice ass hotel. You wanted to be able to e-beg off the scene. You think you're slick. You're not. Ask yourself the question, people. Could Mao have left more than just a $5 party favor from the dollar store at this scene by making a phone call? Yes, factually. Anyone could in the United States, or maybe even overseas. All you got to do is look up in the area and have them deliver the flowers to that memorial. 100 of flowers would have got respect from her followers even more versus the grifting. Silly rabbit. She didn't even take $100 worth of a remembrance, and it wasn't her money because she wanted to spend it on something else. I don't even think that Mallory is just spending money on the hotel. She's partying or something. She's partying or something when she goes these places. Something else is going on. Right? If your mission was to put those flowers there or to put a remembrance there, why didn't you do it without spending $4,000 pampering yourself in Tyree's name?
You know, when you've been talking about someone so long too, you know, covering them.
So long. I just looked. You haven't been.
It just becomes so real.
Again, why are you so far away from where you parked? And why are you even 3 times farther away than where you started to this live stream? She pretends to spend it, I think. The double dipping makes me think that. You know what I'm thinking? Well, I already know that Betty does that. Betty will go tell people she's like spending all this money in travel, acting like she spent thousands on, you know, plane tickets when she's driving. And then she'll act like she's staying in this nice ass hotel, spending all this money on hotels. When we look the hotel up and it's $50 or less a night, right? So I know that's what Betty does. And we know they share their tactics with each other. But, you know, my point is, What you need to do every time you see these tragedy pimps do anything is ask yourself, what did they actually accomplish? And then what did they tell people they were going to accomplish? And if they lied, it's a scam if they collected money to do it. Got me? If you're telling people you're going to do certain thing and you didn't do it, and you collected lots of money for it, it's a scam. It's a grift. It's a fraud raiser. Okay, it falls under that category. Number two, what did they actually accomplish when they got there? Like, instead of what did they say they're going to accomplish, after you've judged the scam, which Mallory did scam everybody in this situation, then you ask yourself, what did Mallory actually accomplish? Okay? Well, we can tell that Mallory streamed 4 blocks away from the scene, walked up to her car that was parked 2 blocks away from the scene, and then got $5 worth of birthday party favors from a dollar store, walked up to the scene 2 blocks away. I think that's what this is right here. And then most likely is going to put the stuff down there. And I bet you that other people have put actual items and things there and not just a couple dollars in party favors that she pretends is worth all of this money and it's all of this stuff, right? You feel me? You guys feeling me? And if she then didn't accomplish anything at the scene other than this grift, you can now factually say that she scammed everybody to pretend like she was going to go report about Tyree at the scene. That's factual. That is what the video shows. The video is evidence. Her streams are evidence. The thing she tells her audience is the evidence. Got to wait until they're done, which, by the way, she's done. She didn't make any money in this stream because people probably thought the same thing I'm saying right now. Mallory, I actually have looked into this story. It wasn't a bunch of white cops murdering a black cop. You're lying, Mallory. I'm not going to send you money because you're lying about this and it's making me mad. Mallory, that's not the scene. Nothing about the scene involved a pool and a tennis court. Right? Mallory, what you're saying about police brutality is debunked by the actual statistics of police brutality, Mallory. All of these things are why she didn't get money. Now you understand why she did the St. Jude's controversy. Now you understand why I just played every triggered stream of hers ever since the St. Jude's controversy, so that you could see why she did the St. Jude's thing and how she's acting after. So her content is not true crime or reporting. Her content is trying to fake controversy, failing miserably, and then sitting in her room and complaining about it until the next controversy.
Ooh, this is, how do you see? Whew.
This is an act. This is an act. You could have parked right next to this. Could have parked anywhere up here, right next to this. You chose to walk up to this so that you could pretend it was hard. You could have just gotten in your car and put your $5 birthday party favors in the passenger seat, pulled up, walked them out, put them down, said what you wanted to say, did a little report for your audience, got in your vehicle and left. Did this to try to build tension so that you could act like you're upset.
Oh.
I feel like a nice civil lawsuit for fraudulent collection of donations would be fun, says self-proclaimed detective. You know, the family of Tyree should be suing her. The family of Gabby Petito should be suing Molly, along with the Laundries. The family of the Idaho people should be suing Betty. They should be doing this. And every dime they make off YouTube should be owed to these people. That would be... Could you imagine that the internet didn't exist and they were doing this? So they were going around basically collecting donations from people because they're going to go report or they're going to go put stuff at the scene. And then you find out the facts of what they did. They stayed in a hotel and partied. They went to St. Jude's and caused a scene and you know, almost got arrested and trespassed. She used the money for Tyree Nichols so that she could trespass on St. Jude and go and waste the time of the authorities there. She wanted, remember when Molly was jealous of Brian Koberger when they first got him? You know how Molly went live and she was sitting there mad at the mother. She was jealous at Brian. She was talking about how he was getting media attention, right? That's House of Williams with Tyree. House of Williams is jealous that Tyree is getting this, that Tyree is getting attention, that Tyree, so that's causing the scene at St. Jude's. We all know House of Williams wanted it to go a certain way. House of Williams didn't want to be hurt, but she did want a run-in with the cops to make her a victim so she could play it out, because she tried to. You can't say it's not true, because she did take a situation that didn't exist and tried to play that out. You feel me? The video evidence is on YouTube still. We just watched it over the last few days. Okay, Mal, are you going to show us what you put down? Because these teddy bears cost a lot more than everything you bought put together. I mean, like, a lot of this stuff worth a lot more. And you're sitting here talking about the scene, and let's see how much time you spend at the scene. So 1823, you walk up. We'll say 1820 will be nice. You walk up to the scene at 1820, and we're listening for you to start reporting and you to start doing all that brilliant content that everybody was grifted for. We're waiting to hear it because you still haven't started doing it.
Just right back over here is his mom's place.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you get a dox in there.
Is it that close?
Make sure you get that dox in there.
So it was important to me to make sure that we always include something from the LGBTQ. So I wanted to put that there.
Wait. Sorry, my daughter is getting out of school and I just had to text. I'm sorry. Was Tyree gay or? Because why are you making this anything that has to do with you? Why wouldn't you just focus on Tyree? So whatever Tyree is, honor that. Is Tyree gay? I never heard that.
So I wanted to put that.
Mal, why did you put it on top and block the other people? Why did you do that? Why did you block the other people, number one? Why didn't you put it somewhere respectful? You could have just tucked it right up here at the top. It would have been in view of everyone. It would have been right there. It wouldn't have blocked anyone's stuff. Also, Mal, this, I promise you, you can go into a dollar store and get this for like $1.99 or less. Now, you said when you got your stuff out of the vehicle that you had all this stuff to carry and you only have two hands. Where is the other stuff? Why didn't you bring flowers? You know you could have outdone all of this and wrapped that whole thing in a circle of flowers for $100. Which is what? How much did you say it was? That's like a fifth of one night of your hotel stay? A fifth? It would have been like an eighth of one of your flights. You couldn't do anything for him. Money, while you act like it's so important for what you do, why don't you ever spend it on anything that has to do with the case? Nothing that has to do with the case.
That there.
Where's the rest of your stuff? Let's see it. You know this, that one of her family members went and took that thing and threw it off there. Not because it's a rainbow, but because they put it. Look at how self-centered this is. Who cares about the rainbow? Whatever you want to put there, fine. But why in the world are you blocked? It looks bad. It looked good. Now it looks bad. I wouldn't care if you had a teddy bear and you just sat it on top of everybody else's stuff. I'd say the same complaint.
It's awful.
It's cheap. She's got the cheapest gift on the entire thing. All these other people took their own money that they earned, that they didn't lie or e-beg for or lie about a story for. They went and took the money they earned, bought it, and drove it there, and most likely cried, and most likely wept, and most likely meant the emotions that they didn't broadcast. And they made sure to respectfully place their actual gift somewhere. Like there are flowers, there are, you know, these different animals that probably have something to do with Tyree and what he liked. There's balloons, you know, and they placed them respectfully into the group. House of Williams is trying to steal the attention, wants to steal the show. My rainbow goes right on top. My rainbow goes above. Oh no, I don't care if I block 4 of the family members, the mom stuff, the aunt stuff, the uncle stuff, the grandma stuff. I'm going to block that because this is more important. Even though all the stuff they put there is actually worth money and valuable, and the stuff I'm like $30, $40, $50, $60, $80, my stuff, it only costs $2 at a dollar store. God, can you please cause a burst of wind to blow that thing off of there, please? She got how many hundreds to put something there? Thousands. Multiple times. I'll explain it in 2 seconds. Where's your reporting, Mal? Where's the reporting? Wicked says Mallory be fancy like Dollar Tree on Monday with y'all's dollars. So true.
Just want to celebrate, you know.
No, you didn't. You're not celebrating. Celebrating is a word that has a definition and a meaning. It is an action. You have not engaged in celebration. You have not done nothing you've done equates to celebration whatsoever.
Liven it up a little bit.
Hey, Bubba.
Navy, what's up, dude? You've been following this?
Man.
Dude, okay, so for the last few days, I've been watching Mal have breakdown after breakdown after breakdown, sitting in her home. You've seen that, right? And she's waking up in the morning and flipping out over criticizers. Then I decided that what we would do is we would watch how she's acting about the St. Jude thing and then take a trip. So I went into Google Earth and I made sure to do what Mal couldn't do, and I did an actual tour all the way around the St. Jude grounds. I went into St. Jude and showed some of the buildings where I'm allowed to, and I made sure to show people that Mal lied and prove and debunk Mal several times in the clip that involved Google Earth. And now we are watching why Mal went to St. Jude, which is this, Navy. So what have you picked up from what you've seen of this so far? What's your opinion?
Well, it's kind of like it's pathetic and sad is what it is, because most of the times people try to kind of hide the fact that they're abusing a tragedy for e-begging, and Mal does. Mal just comes out and tells you, "Oh, thank you for paying for my hotel. Thank you for paying for all this." I'm just like, how do you sleep at night? Like seriously, like you sit there and like you bought this, and someone was saying in the live chat that the reason for the rainbow on there was because that's how she leaves her mark on places, right? So she doesn't care that it's a memorial for a lost loved one. She doesn't care that it's, you know, whatever, a memorial for a missing child. That's how she has to make sure and leave her mark with this cheap ass crap, which is a disgrace to the memory or the idea of the person that's being honored there. And I hate it. I can't stand her.
It has nothing to do with Mal. Mal shouldn't be leaving her mark. The whole point of a memorial, unless you're trying to memorialize yourself being at the memorial, because it is, again, a word, Mal. The memorial, the word means something, and it means a behavior, a thing you've done. You did not memorialize Tyree. You memorialized yourself if you left a mark there about you. That's what you've done. You've made it narcissistic. You've made it about yourself. You wouldn't be memorializing anything about you. You would be caring. There's another word that actually means something that you can't just say, and it doesn't just, it actually is a descriptor of something that happens in reality, where you care enough to learn about what happened. You care enough to report the truth. You care enough to find out about Tyree and then make Tyree's mark at the memorial, right? And if you were a mother and the something that you and Tyree did together becomes part of the memorial, that's fine. But a stranger doing it is the most narcissistic, disgusting showing, which you've made this whole thing about yourself this whole time. You've also made every case that you get involved in about yourself every time. You made St. Jude's about yourself when they would have acted that way towards anyone that showed up. The scam-o-meter needs an adjustment. It just went up to almost full, but we'll see what happens. It's starting to bubble. I can hear it. Oh, let me share my link, y'all. Guys, I'm going to share my link in the chat. If you've already seen it, ignore it. But if you can support, it would help immensely, though it's not required at all.
Okay. Okay. So there's his memorial, everybody.
No, Mal, that was his memorial. Now it's his memorial with your mark blocking the first people that set up the memorial.
I'm not going to keep us in front of it.
You haven't done anything yet, Mal. I have been sure to descriptively elaborate on what you have in reality done through this whole video. None of it related to Tyree. None of it was true. The majority was e-begging. The majority was performative, secondary e-begging. What you were doing was to performatively back up the things you said while e-begging, like how hard it was, how hard it is for you to go there, how much money you had to spend. When you were talking about how hard it is for you to be there and go there, that was when you were e-begging, not sharing your link. Completely different than e-begging. So then when you start the performative walking up, which you parked far away and made sure that you had to walk up so that you could perform the plotted and planned, the real plotted and planned reason you went there. See, Mal, by describing what you've done in a very descriptive way and making sure that I went through the whole thing, not just this, but from St. Jude's to how you acted after to now what you did right before, I have proven that everything you did was centered around you and you milking money out of people by lying and manipulating these situations, because these situations have to deal with horrible tragedies. You are exploiting those tragedies by definition. This is called an argument that I've built throughout these last few streams against you. This is an argument. Now, what I will do is I will use my argument in the same way that you used your secondary e-begging. I will take my argument and I will put a video up that will describe you e-begging and what you're doing. It's going to come after the Ashley Furniture video, of course. But now that I've got a lot more to back it, now I've got a better understanding of it, and now I have an argument to actually prove to people what you did leading up to the result of St. Jude. So if you want to respond, which you won't because you are a coward, you are doing this, you know you're doing this to exploit this stuff. It's a plot, it's a plan, it's put into action. It's your entire being, that your entire personality is put up. And again, it has nothing to do with your gender. It has nothing to do with your sexuality. It has to do with your choices and your actions. And by making this argument, if you did want to respond, you would have to be able to debunk me. You would have to take the things that I've shown that are the backing points for why you're e-bagging, why you're exploiting, and show how I'm wrong by refuting them with argument or evidence, which you can't do.
I just got told that the exposure arena and the live chat said that Mal didn't even leave the pinata thing there. She took it back and gave it to Molly's.
The pinata thing, I didn't see the pinata.
That was that little horse thing in front of the rainbow. It was a little pinata. Apparently, she didn't even leave that stuff there. She picked it up and took it with her. She just left it there long enough to take a video of it being there.
What about the rainbow? Did she leave the rainbow?
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask the live chat. They said at least the pinata, but she at least took stuff back with her. I mean, well,
I was asking the chat. Let us know, chat. Did she leave the rainbow?
Here and lay there for him. A lot of love, right?
No. E-begging is not love. It's not caring. It's not supportive. It's narcissistic. It is exploitative. It's evil. It's wrong. What you've done is wrong and evil. Not good. Not caring. Not loving. None of those things. You've exploited this horrible tragedy and you've turned it into a pseudo business model, because it's not even a business model, because the thing you call your business model never happened. No reporting, no describing anything. You tried to say this was about race. I failed. I don't believe that these African-American officers targeted this African-American male because of his race. Okay? I don't believe that myself. Unless you want to state why you believe that, I'll consider your argument, I guess, and think about it. See if it makes sense or if it actually comports with reality. But I still don't understand how 5 African-American officers did this to an African-American male, and you're saying it's about race. And how would you expect that to happen in this neighborhood? Because it's all about race and yada, yada, yada. Again, you didn't even barely look at the facts of this. You just made up stuff.
So, but right here, right there, that's the spot. That's the spot.
That's the spot. Earlier you said that it was the spot here, and then you showed all this other stuff and tried to imply that was the spot. I don't know if I believe you.
Right there. Mama.
You're disgusting. Now you've realized you got to really ramp it up because you haven't gotten any of these, right?
It's a tough one.
Was it? Was that tough? Was it tough to lie and make it about yourself?
That's a tough one.
Because I would say that'd be easy. That'd be the easiest thing to do. Stay in a luxury hotel, not do any type of reporting whatsoever, walk over there and make it all about you, then go to St. Jude's to try to make some controversy for money like you admitted to doing several times in the streams I showed. I don't see how that's hard at all. That's like easy shit. You don't even have to prepare for it. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to be good at anything. You can just do it. Anyone can do what you've done. Anyone with no preparation. She is getting off on it. She really is. But the thing is, I really do think that she believes she's fooling people. She's not.
So there's a lot of spokes and wheels and going around, a lot of cogs. You have to imagine this.
Have you started reporting now? Have you started your genius commentary?
This case pulled a lot of important high-profile people, including our Vice President of the United States to this town, Kamala Harris. So, a lot of protests across this community.
Yeah, why, Mal? Why? I'm still confused at this whole thing you've said.
It's going to spark a lot of reform. It's going to definitely...
What kind of reform? What kind?
Open up the conversation of just how quickly we can begin to prosecute these officers.
What are you talking about? What? They prosecute these officers fast as fuck.
Like I said, Memphis laid a blueprint. They even fired the fire
responders, the firemen. They fired them.
Right? To show just how quickly we can start to prosecute these officers that slay our brothers and sisters on the streets like dogs.
So have you dropped the caller part of this thing that you went into the entire rest of the stream? Because you're not going to bring that up again?
Right? So, for all these other cities and states and municipalities that say it can't be done and always need further investigation, want to cross every dot and every... Listen, it's all bullshit nonsense.
I do not know what... I don't think that anything that has come out of your mouth has made any sense whatsoever since you started talking.
Bullshit nonsense, people.
Nonsense really should clip all the times Mallory says nonsense.
All right. Where will I pop up next? People, I want to...
St. Jude's, then you'll go home, and then every day for like a week you'll go live and cry and be triggered over the criticism that you get and all the people that left your support base.
Thank you all for coming in.
Because I just showed all of that leading up to this.
Thank you for the support. Thank you. Let's all send out some positive vibes for Tyree and his family and for this community. And thank you for helping me get through this really difficult time here.
You had a difficult time. I couldn't tell.
Like I said, they're not...
You didn't cry at all.
All easy. Doing what we do, people think is easy. It's not easy.
It is easy.
It's so easy. What you just did.
You lie to your fans. It's so easy for you to lie to your fans. They pay you all this money. You go out to a place where a man was beaten to death by the cops, and you bring a fucking piñata because somehow that makes sense.
No,
and then
that
you
was
take
cheap.
it back with you.
Dollar store.
But why bring a fucking piñata? You know, piñatas are used to get hit, right? So you just like, is that a middle finger to the victim? That's why I read that in live chat. It was great point.
No, she's trolling. This is all a troll. Like, Mallory knows what Mallory's doing. Okay, Mallory is... We saw the real Mal. That's why I played this in reverse. I started with their inner room, then St. Jude's, then here. Because the true Mal came out at home where no one watches her. Well, a lot of the people that support her when she goes to do this aren't watching her just sit in her room and do those streams, right? My stomach's fucking with me again. So, sorry. Excuse me, I should say. You know, you saw her sit there and say that she did it for controversy. She knew what she was doing. She did it on purpose. If you followed the last 4 streams I've done, which if you did, you're an OG, thank you. But I hope I've made a point for those of you that have watched along, that they don't have to hide their true selves once they get home and once they're being boring and stuff. And that's why what we do is important. And when I say we, all of us, even all of you, that make sure to bring things up in comments and tweets and places and share it online. Because the commentary creators that go out find them sitting at home where those people that support aren't really watching as much, that support this kind of stuff, that pay for her to go do this. They watch her do this, and then maybe they watch the St. Jude thing or whatever, but they're definitely not sitting through. They're at work or whatever. They're not sitting through her streaming like all of this stuff from her house. And during those streams, that's when she gets so mad at the criticism, people criticizing her out there, people leaving comments, people tweeting. She can't stand it. She's too narcissistic. And the truth comes out as you saw in these last few streams. So now we can get part 3. We've done part 2, which is the Ashley Furniture ordeal live. Now we've done part 3 live, which is the St. Jude Hospital ordeal. And yes, this stream completely relates. I think a lot of the people watching her had the same kind of feeling all of us had watching her play this game live with Tyree Nichols. And I think what happened is that they didn't donate because there was no controversy driving the donations, number one. But also, people were like, I paid for this. Like, I gave you $500 for this. I gave you $200 for this. I went ahead and gave you another $300 when you said that you had to have the second time you asked for money to get reimbursed for spending the money for this. This was the reporting. What else have you done, Mal? What else have you done for the money that I've given you. I thought you were going to work. You just said you worked, but you haven't worked at all. You haven't done anything. And she put, now here's my biggest reveal. And again, don't believe me? Go watch her videos that I didn't show you. Go click through them. Go listen to how she acts and what she says. And you ask me, did she do a shred of work? Now, here's the big reveal. Here's the big gotcha. On top of everything else I've shown, from her lies at St. Jude, the further lies at St. Jude using Google Earth, and everything else I've said. She put more work, more time, more effort, more streaming, more editing, more uploading, more links to websites, more call to action over this than she did for any of the other stuff I showed you. And you've got to ask yourself an important question. Do you believe that St. Jude was just an accidental little thing that she picked? Or do you believe, like I do, that this all was part of the plan? You don't have to tell me. It was kind of rhetorical. All right, Navy, what are you getting into tonight, man? You doing anything?
I am not. I am home for the evening, so I'm gonna be at the house.
Well, I'm gonna try to go out. Well, I actually have to go and run a couple errands for the kids and stuff. You know, it's that time. And I'm going to go see what I can do about grabbing dinner and grabbing a few things. And I'm going to come back and start prepping a stream. Oh. Might have to get off here quick. Let me see. Let me just check real quick. And then we will tonight start on our next phase, which I thought maybe I would be able to show you. I'd be able to start on here, but of course we went over because I was in 2x speed the last 3 streams and I was in 1.5 for that one, so I misjudged the time. But I do have a Molly video called A Public Service Announcement that I want to go over with you. It's the only Molly. It's all I've seen from Molly since 3 days ago. I don't even know what she's going to talk about.
The only public service announcement that I want to hear that she could actually make is her saying she's leaving social media.
That would be a good one. That'd be a good one. Let's see if I can find out what she's talking about here. I skipped through it, but I still couldn't. I couldn't, you know. Don't trust anyone on YouTube. I've said it a million times. What I did catch of this live is that the people are very new. And what I caught was I don't like my personal life and my past being brought up. Excuse me, really? Well, in this little community that you're in and have started to join, that's what they are and about. That's what they hold on to forever. It is not. I only talk about things that directly relate to how you're acting right now. You think that I don't know about all that other stuff that's out there about you? I don't think you're talking about me, but I'm just saying. So it looks like she's whining and crying about getting exposed somewhere, somehow. I'll see if Cherie knows later. But this, I think, is the fallout, because with these creators, you've got the fallout that comes after they're exposed. And Ashley Furniture, the woman getting fired because of their actions, the fact that these people get to sit on their asses e-begging, lying about what they do, and then they get to go and get people fired from their jobs. House of Williams gets to trespass and do the wrong thing and not even take a single bit of responsibility to try to get an officer fired from a 23 or 24-year career, lose her retirement and all this over lies that aren't even true. Ashley Furniture, again, I still support Vasha, because if you're going to sit there, someone counted how many times they asked politely for them to leave after telling them how they can have their stuff resolved. Now remember, after the first time, Molly was pointing the camera in her face, refusing to leave. And it was a huge number. I don't even remember the number, but it was huge. Forgotten Whispers reported it. She clipped it. Okay. I'm going to do a mod meeting or some kind of meeting in Butterbot Navy, and I'm going to jump out of here. So I'll be right down, bro. Thanks for jumping in, man. We missed you. We're glad you're getting some time here.
Thanks for having me, Bubba. Oh, yeah.
You know me. Anytime, every time, all the time. So I'm going to jump down into general, and I'm going to go run around and see what I can do. But, you know, I will come back for my next stream, Red Bullless and Vapeless, if you don't consider donating to the link in the description, which is perfectly fine, of course. I don't have to have Red Bull. I just like it. PayPal.me. I gotta stop being funny or I'm gonna get in trouble. PayPal.me/unirock and #UniRachel if you do want to support us immediately. But those of you that donated subs to other people and gifted subs, and those of you that did super chats and things like that, thank you so much. If you've liked and subscribed, thank you. But if you watch any of my content, that's the most important thing you can do. And thank you all, because you're just the best. You're awesome. And hopefully I put together enough stuff, even though it's a little long form on these live streams. It will be cut down into shorter form on Unirock 2 in the future. But hopefully you find value in what I'm showing you, and that we can keep doing this when it comes to people exploiting these kind of tragedies and the people and the families that should be mourning and should be, like Molly said, why are you bringing up all this other stuff that doesn't matter right now? Well, Molly, why do you always attack family members and bring up everything about anyone, even a newspaper article from 20 years ago or 30 years ago about Koberger's mom while she is mourning and while she's dealing with what happened? The victims of these crimes and of these tragedies are not just the people that they do attack or murder. It is also the family on both sides, because again, a mother, an uncle, a grandma, whatever, how are they responsible for the mistakes that their child makes? And only in some rare occasions could that be true. See you later. Thank you.